Hermits.
For anybody that might be listening, we are live.
Okay, you're good. It's all right.
What is up, YouTube? What is up, world? True Patriot here, also known as CC2 Arms. We are going to attempt to just have a live, like I said, an open mic. Don't really have a topic of discussion. All things can and will be thought about, and potentially we could discuss whether it be exoteric, esoteric, occult, agriculture related, or maybe you just want to talk shit about people that you don't think are worth a fuck and you really don't know why you allow them around you. I don't know. It's up to you all. That's what an open mic is. I'll be your host until such time as I terminate this live stream, at which time, fuck it, the live stream's over, so who cares? But that all being said, for right now, we've got some nice, hopefully royalty-free music playing in the background, so the good, lovely people of Google don't get aggravated, don't want to get nobody's panties in a wad, don't want to get in no trouble. What are you looking at on screen? On screen, you're looking at a beautiful flower. This flower is used in many parts of the world to treat a whole plethora of ailments that affect the human condition. You're looking at some organic vegetables grown by yours truly. I haven't been haven't been live in a while, as many of you know. My ability to live stream via my normal channels has been taken from me. A very wonderful friend, a very gracious friend has agreed to let me use their channel for the purpose of live streaming on occasion. I have not done so in a while. I'm going to make an effort to this evening. I hope this finds everyone well. Hope everyone is in a good mood. Hopefully those of you that are at a higher vibrational state of being, I hope this live stream resonates with you, you specifically. For everybody else, stick around. Try to keep an open mind. Keep your mouth shut. You might learn something. Probably not, but there is that chance. It is sincerely plausible that the opportunity is being presented for you to do so. Hopefully you take advantage of it. Not going to break your leg and try to force feed you nothing. You get enough of that every day when you watch your local news. But anyway, what is up, YouTube land? What is up, everyone? I see I got a person in chat. Don't be shy. Nobody's going to bite your head off. Nobody's going to eat you here. Feel free to make yourself known. This is weird. I've still got some stuff going on in the background, folks. I'm trying to get that stuff tended to as well. A lot of people, places, and things probably would rather me not live stream. So I'm quite sure I'm going to go through a whole plethora, a myriad of technical issues through the course of this live stream. Please bear with me, folks. It's been a while. Pardon me. give this a few minutes, let some of these background programs finish up what they are doing. And then we'll jump into something. Like I said, this is an open mic. We can cover whatever topic. I mainly needed to get on here because I've been absent a lot lately. And I want the online community to know that I've not went anywhere. You know, I have been silent. I have not been doing much active live streaming. I've not been uploading a lot. I've really kept the internet chatter to a minimum. But I've not went anywhere, and they've not taken me out. They've not done nothing crazy to me other than the norm. So if nothing else, this will serve as a living record that on September 8th in the year 2018, 9:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, CC2 Arms, which is I, also known as True Patriot, did attempt to live stream a broadcast just to let everyone know, both my lovers and my haters, that I am still here. See if I can get Mr. Dale Core. He's always good for some good stimulating conversation. Mr. Dale Core, I'm gonna try to get you. I'm gonna try to get you into the chat room here. I just sent you a link on another site. We'll see how that goes. Man, I've not used any of this technology in weeks, folks. Some of it months. The world doesn't want me to live stream. That's why if you'll notice, anytime I try to upload a video, magically, all kinds of stuff occurs just at the moment I go to upload the video. Then I try to set time. I schedule a time to do a live stream broadcast, and all of a sudden cars break down, people get sick, family members you ain't seen in 3 fucking years call you and talk about being sick and dying and in hospitals. All this shit happens, but it only happens at the point that I make the effort to reach out to some of you. A lot of us, we see that for what it is. But for those that probably don't know, let me just say that there is no coincidence. Oh, yes. Just because you're paranoid and you think a big boot is trying to squash your fucking head in the ground does not mean that there is not a big boot trying to squash your head in the fucking ground. The question you should ask yourself is not whether or not you're paranoid, but are you in fact paranoid enough? Let's see. We'll open up Google Hangouts. I don't even know if I can still use Google Hangouts. Oh no, I'm using another account. That's right. Shit. All right. Apologies, folks. We'll do this another way. We'll just try to drag this little taskbar over to here. We'll try to do this here. See how this works. I hope that this does not end this live stream trying to be signed into these multiple accounts simultaneously. But that's exactly what we're doing. Okay, here we go. See if I can do this. 8 hours ago. Wow, man, that's something else, ain't it? Flip back over this screen over here. Come on, Dale Core, where are you at, friend? It would be lovely if I had some technical assistance. At least if I had somebody telling me whether or not the devices were working as they are intended. Then again, I don't typically use this venue, this channel on this particular venue, so I guess that could create some, I don't want to say pandemonium, but it would make it a little bit different. Take a little bit of getting used to. As much as I don't want to do this, maybe we should go through here and unfortunately look at some of the news, or at least some headlines. The death of a nation, one vaccination at a time. Yeah, that's a topic that we've covered at various times, various lengths. I was just speaking to someone today, and I was telling them briefly about I didn't really tell them about it. I suggested to them that they do the research on polio and what happened as a result of the polio vaccination. Yeah, it's another topic for another day. I don't really want to get into vaccinations. Although I did say this was an open mic, so if there is something vaccination related that somebody needed to know, wanted to know, I would, in fact, try to point them in the right direction, but not really one of them topics I feel like. Oh gosh, I got 2 people in chat. Dale Core is one of the 2 people in chat. You, if not, please be my friend. Jinxie, somebody in chat, a familiar face. Tell me that you hear me. Tell me that you understand or comprehend the words coming out of my mouth. Let me know that you're alive. Dale Core, I was just talking about you, friend. You motivated me. I hadn't even anticipated going live this evening. It was a busy day. Went everywhere in my local area trying to find I don't know the technical name for the part. We call it a flywheel keeper key. Basically to maintain the position of the flywheel on top of a motor, specifically my lawn tractor. Yeah. It's a Craftsman GT6000. I thought I would be intelligent and I would go to a local Sears store. Yeah, that was a joke. Apparently, Sears cannot help you find Craftsman parts or ascertain Craftsman part service unless you have certain numbers that you've got to be a certified craftsman expert to know. Yes, that's right, folks. When you go to your Sears and you've got your broken Craftsman product, they are not going to afford you any assistance that's worth a shit. Excuse the language. They're going to try to upsell you a new device, a new machine, a new tool. Of course, Craftsman, because you know, Sears, Courage, Craftsman, and Craftsman's got them their lifetime warranties, so you know it's good shit. Yeah, when yours breaks, they're not going to help you. They're going to help sell you a replacement. So then the young kid that's standing beside the Sears Craftsman expert, he suggests I go to Tractor Supply. So you get to the Tractor Supply store, you get into the tractor parts service whatever section, and you're talking to a little bitty 16-year-old girl that suggests that you go to AutoZone. But she only suggests that you go to AutoZone after she looks into her computer, she pulls out all her fancy books and says that, well, we sell all kinds of tractor parts and side-by-side parts. Keys, we don't really have a lot of keys. I said, technically, it's not referred to as a key. That's what we call it. I don't know the technical name for it. And when I mentioned that she should reference flywheel in her search query, she says that they most definitely do not sell aftermarket tractor wheels. I walked out discouraged, hung my head low, shook it a few times, scuffed my heels a bit, and walked out. So my search still continues. Meanwhile, my tractor still isn't running, and you know, I'm fixing to have a big leaf collection project going on, and I'm not going to really have a way to deal with it except the good old-fashioned way. That means basically a white man, a rake with a broken handle, a broken rake because, you know, you let a friend's son or daughter help you out, you know, and they, of course, break your tools and don't tell you about it. But anyway, I guess I'm going to be doing it the good old-fashioned way. Bagging up leaves, raking them up, bagging them up. Run them over with a push mower, mulching them up by hand, get them wet, turn them into compost. Use them later on in some of these beds. Delcor, I appreciate you being here, friend. I really wanted to come live. As I stressed this earlier in the stream, a lot of things have... the world's a weird place. It gets weird, and some of the stuff we can't handle. So sometimes, you know, whether be it a choice of your own or maybe you're forced into it, you have to distance yourself from certain people, places, and things. Fortunately, I've just had to take a step back from some of the online endeavors. It's not been a big deal. As you can see, I mean, I'm going to keep on keeping on. I'm doing me. I don't, you know, regardless of how me is perceived, I'm going to keep on doing me. I'm going to keep on trying to produce good, natural, organic fruits and vegetables. I am going to keep trying to awaken the masses to the prison specifically that Americans live in. Well, it might be a Masonic system. They may have designed it, and it may be functioning flawlessly, but it's a prison system. And a lot of people unwillingly get sold a line of shit that keeps them in this prison. I'd just like to break them out if I could, or at least point them in a direction where they can find the tools that they can use to free themselves. So even though I've taken a step back, I have downscaled some of my internet endeavors. I felt that it's, you know, it's been getting to a point where I needed to address I can't just hide forever. You know, I can't. It's good to take a step back, but you can't just disappear from the internet in general. That's not really that's not my style. But also, it's not beneficial to anybody. It's not serving humanity if those of us that consider ourselves or perceive ourselves to be enlightened, if we run, you know. Yeah, a lot of speed bumps. Here lately, their newest thing is someone will be in another town, another area, and they'll talk about me. And I'll have this thought that will pop in my head like, you know, it just feels like somebody's talking about me. And all of a sudden, I'll get an email. You've got a voicemail. And I'll check this voicemail, and it will be a conversation between people in which I'm involved, or in which my persona is mentioned in the point in the during the course of the conversation. It's annoying. It doesn't scare me. It doesn't make me mad. It's just really more hurtful than anything. I try not to let it bother me, but that's one of their newest little ploys. Lately, we've had to deal with a rogue here on the farm. I've had to deal with God. I've got somebody trying to steal from me, or has stolen from me, and I've not really known how to handle that. Part of me, I just want to burn their house down with them in their bed while they sleep. I mean, I think that to keep tolerating the injustices of the world is more of a detriment than anything. But then there's the moral issues with it. You know, if I lower myself to their level, what does that make me? And more importantly, if I did in fact lower myself to their level, how do I bounce back from that? You know, there might not be no jail time. There might not be no fines. There might not be no physical costs associated, but I have to know that I pretty much sold out, you know. I sacrificed my principles. I sacrificed who and what I stand for in an effort to prove a point. And it just doesn't get us anywhere. Yeah, that's the same deal we're having. I can't blame the person that we sort of half-assed hired to fix the lawn tractor. I can't blame them. What I will say is that they were in the picture, and I was sick, and I came to and noticed that they were gone, but there was other things missing as well. So logically, I do presume that they are the ones that are responsible. I don't know if they are or they are not. It's just put me in a tough spot. I mean, I really try not to take nothing from nobody. I sincerely do. I mean, hell, I don't even have females around me because I don't want to take a piece of ass. I don't want to take nothing from nobody. If I could be 100% self-sufficient and just live off the land away from everybody, that would be ideal for me. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still figuring out what I'm going to have to do. It's definitely put me in a precarious position. All the vegetables are doing good. Just now getting to the point where I should be. Matter of fact, I drug out seeds over the course of the last couple of days, trying to strategize, get the fall winter crops growing or germinated. I need to get some more medicinal crops initiated, get those going. Still battling a sinus infection. Yeah, I completely concur with that last comment. None of us are perfect, but true friendship, love tries to do the right thing and attempts to fix it when we screw up. The universe is a university. You know, it's this place is a teacher. How do you learn things? Well, you break them. That's how you learn stuff. You break it, and now it needs fixed. And through the course of fixing it, you learn something about it. And hopefully, the something you learn prevents you from breaking it in the future. And that can be applied to friends or friendships or relationships of any kind, physical matter, metaphysical issues, anything. Since I've not been live streaming very much lately, it seems like I don't know, I guess a lot of my part-time friends, part-time allies, half-ass support network has went to the wayside. Not that really bothers me. Parts of it have been kind of peaceful here lately. No, you've never no, never done anything hurtful to me, Dale. Humanity in general is a hurtful subject. Just because I feel like since my time this go around or whatever began here, I feel like I've been watching humanity slowly die, like killing itself. And then as it's killing itself, it's also feeding off itself. Cannibalistic, you know? Yeah. A psilocybin awakening. Those are always good. I always tell everyone, go for 5 to 7 grams. If you've never done it, then, well, you're just an idiot and there's nothing I can tell you. And until you do it, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But if you have done it at least twice a year, psilocybin or psilocin or however you manage to have the experience, it's a definite teacher that I think everyone needs. The first mushroom experience I had was definitely one of the most eye-opening experiences of my lifetime here. I am going to mute this mic for just about 13 seconds, long enough for me to blow my nose. Like I said, I am sick. Apologies here. Man, that's terrible. Some natural cures for, and I'm back. Some natural cures for a sinus infection would be lovely. But I think it's went beyond those affording me any actual cure. Well, see, I had did acid in the 80s, early 90s, mid 90s. Acid was fun, you know. You and your friends, you want to see some neat stuff, do some acid. But they weren't really learning experiences. It was basically, it was a fun experience. So, I mean, there was that. That was, that's nothing to scoff at. You know, a good fun experience with friends or family is great, but I didn't really learn anything. However, the mushrooms taught me things. And ever since that first experience, the predominant concern for me is, how do I get more of that knowledge? And how do I best bring that knowledge back in such a way that I have retained enough of it that I am able to share it with humanity? I have not found that answer. I will say that I've always had a love for plants. I've always loved growing. I've always loved nature. But I do attribute a lot of the growing of plants in general to fundamentals regarding nature and regarding life in general. I do attribute it to the mushroom, because it was like when I grow a plant. Okay, without sounding too philosophical, through the mushroom experience, I was shown that everything is deeply, deeply interconnected. And as deeply interconnected as it all is, everything creates everything. And I couldn't explain that. I couldn't put that in a way that was teachable or that I could show people. What I did notice, though, was when regardless of the environment, maybe you live in the projects and all you have is an ice cream bucket and some shitty dirt that you got out of the playground at the projects that you lived in. I noticed that through plants and through being a part of life and being a part of the creation of life, the experience that I had through the mushroom was manifest. You know, it's one thing to tell everybody that, hey, you are a creator here. It's another thing to actually create. And when you create life, life creates life, so on and so forth, exponentially. I still don't comprehend all of it myself. But what I do know is that my interaction with plants and animals and fungi as a result of mushroom-related experiences is constantly blossoming into I don't know. I don't know, but every day it's just some new. Oh, well, we were out there this evening. Perfect example. We're out there this evening. We're picking the jalapenos. I get these jalapenos in front of me. So we're picking the jalapenos. I seen a spider that I never saw before. And that spider made itself visible. And I saw the spider. The spider runs across me. The spider runs across my hand and goes back to doing what it's doing. And the whole time I'm sitting here and I'm picking these jalapenos and the spider's looking at me and I'm looking at the spider. And as impressed as I was with this spider, I felt like the spider felt the same thing about me. Meanwhile, I think to myself, oh, it's starting to get dark. I should probably go get some help, blah, blah, blah. I get my mother. She comes out. She's picking jalapenos. We're picking jalapenos. I got to show her this spider. She's like, oh, don't worry. You just keep doing what you're doing, and you respect that spider. That spider ain't going to bother you. I know, probably sounds crazy, but it's not even something that I know or something I don't know. It's just something I felt. I think that life feeds off of life. Life gives life. And the more the more that the living interact with the living, the better off the human experience is for every human. You see, so much of our world today, we are, we're in this constant turmoil. This is the land of the living. But how much of your world is controlled by the dead? You figure your corporation. Okay, so a corporation coming from the word corpse. What is a corpse? It's dead. What's a corporation? A dead legal entity. It's dead. And corporations are in charge of how much of your world. Let's see. You go to work. You punch your time clock. You get your paycheck. You cash your paycheck. You buy things. Buy things that were made by whom? Buy things that were made for what? Buy things that were sold for what? So all of this death all around us, yet right here in the land of the living, all of this death constantly intermingling with the living. I think that it has it's jaded most of our viewpoints, most of our perceptions. Then we eat supper. Do you sit down and eat a salad, or do you sit down and you eat a big steak? Somehow you tell yourself that it's perfectly acceptable to go torture and then ultimately slaughter a cow, and that is somehow good and justified. But if I say, grow your hair long, don't wear shoes, and eat a salad, well, I'm just a fucking long-haired hippie freak fucking weirdo. A fucking tree-hugging fucking weirdo that should be frowned upon and brushed aside. Yet, you hear stuff like, you are what you eat. You shop. You buy stuff from the dead. You pay the dead for this stuff. Then the stuff that you buy is dead. Then you bring it home. You consume the dead. You feed the dead to your family. And then you wonder why you're so mixed up. And when I say you, I'm not talking about you specifically, but humans in general. So much stuff has gotten crossed. There's been so many lines that have been blurred to the point that everything is gray matter. There is no yes, no, right, wrong, up, down. It's just this blasé fucking this potpourri of dead shit. And I think that oftentimes that we are becoming just as dead as all the shit that we're cramming in our bodies. Dead knowledge, dead foods, breathing dead air. We even drank dead water. Yes, that's right. We even drank dead water. How long is it before the dead overtakes the living? Yeah. And so when the dead overtakes the living, we are no longer humane. And when we are no longer inhumane, we've become inhumane. Once we are inhumane, then there's nothing at all that in any way will be able to segregate us from the very beast that we always pride ourselves on being better than. We put ourselves on these pedestals. We're smart. We're intelligent. We are civilized. If you're not humane, how can you be civilized? Because isn't that what separates us from the animals? Civility? the fact that we use logic and reason as opposed to just instinct alone to survive? Ball of confusion. Yes, exactly that. A chaotic ball of confusion. As within, so without. As above, so below. Nothing but chaos everywhere. And to try to find some reasoning within all that chaos. It's fun. It's definitely we have definitely entered some form of tainment. I think that I say I think because it's only a perception, and it's only a perception as a result of the last several years of my life, but I strongly perceive that somehow I'm supposed to lessen the gap between old and new. A lot of things are being lost to our species. I used to perceive that I'm a truther. I'm supposed to be against the system. I'm supposed to be all political and restore justice. And I don't think any of that at all anymore. I think that those were just I don't know the way I don't know in dealing with the cosmos would put it. I don't know the astrotheological way to describe it. I think that those were areas, those were certain separate paths that I was put on that were preparing me for my true path through this place. I think I strongly perceive that I'm supposed to somehow help remind people who they are and where they came from. And that the only reason that I'm supposed to do that is to somehow ensure that generations to come have a way to a loose foundation to build on. I've missed it too. I've missed the opportunity to even be able to vent. You know, I mean, to be able to speak to, about, for, or in front of anyone that some of the stuff that I have to share might in some way, if nothing else, inspire. You know, even if it's something stupid, plant related. You know, that true patriot's a fuck up. I'm gonna grow a plant. I'm gonna grow the same plant he did, and I'm gonna show him how it's really done. Hey, you know, if my fuck ups and my failures can steer some in the right direction, then hey, and I've missed that too. You know, I've missed being able to at least say that I tried to reach out towards humanity in a public forum. Because I really haven't. I mean, my Facebook post, and Facebook's a hard one because now Facebook, I maintain 12 different Facebook profiles. And like today, I've got 2 of them that I have access to. 2 out of 12. It's ridiculous. The very day that my Facebook profiles come out of Facebook jail or whatever, they are banned the very day. Yes. And I don't know whatever happened with them two. I I have, matter of fact, Perf sent me an email. I heard, it was this week, a few days ago. I had sent Jinx a letter, a little message on Hangouts. And I don't know. I thought they were both dear friends, and then all of a sudden, it's like there came a point where I interacted with them both, and it's like all of a sudden they both turned on each other and turned on me at the same time, and I don't. And I'm probably wrong, and I'm probably misperceiving things that are beyond my comprehension. But it was just like weird. It was like you've got this clique of friends, and all of a sudden the clique of friends gets bigger, and you think that's a good thing, and you're all happy. You're like, way, yee, I got more friends. And then the next day you have no friends because you made your clique of friends bigger, and they all got mad at each other and ran away. I know that's probably an exaggeration. That's not right. I'm just trying to elaborate on the way it seemed. It's like I hadn't heard from either of them. I had lost the internet because I do periodically. I lost the internet quite a bit. I lose it, Anyway, I'd lost the internet, and I had gotten it back, and I had spoke to Jinx, and all I had said was, have you heard from Perf lately or something? And it was just something innocent. I didn't even mean nothing by it. I wasn't trying to instigate nothing. I just was coming back online. My web had been down for 5-7 days, and she responded like kind of weird, or what seemed to me to be weird. Well, I don't know. You should ask her. If you're worried about them, you should ask them. Okay. I just changed the subject, and a couple days went by. Meanwhile, by that time, I had spoken to Perf again. I come on her live stream. Who was on that live stream that evening? I don't remember. But anyway, I brought up Jinx, and then Perf was kind of nothing was said like insulting any person, but yet there was just this weirdness in the air. I felt like I just stepped in a big pile of dog shit, and everybody around me knew it but me. And in subsequent private conversations, I don't know, friend. I don't know. It was just weird, I do consider them both very good friends. I guess I'm a shitty friend. I don't have a phone. I don't use phones. I don't get on Google Hangouts. I don't sit here. Contrary to popular belief, I do not sit in front of a computer screen 24 hours a day. The only time I even am made aware that I have a message on Google Hangouts is if I open up a Google Hangouts box from within my browser.
Plunge. Go.
And apparently, I'm one of these people where you send me a message, it takes me 2 or 3 days to get back to you. So that means I'm not a good friend. I don't mean for that to come out that way, but that's the way some perceive it. Yeah, probably so. And people will let something that really doesn't mean anything mean a whole lot more than it should. And then they'll use that meaning that isn't even there to feel like they've somehow been wronged. And it's sad. We all do it, somebody says something to you, and you miscomprehend the context, and then you think the person insulted you, so you get an attitude towards them. You know, we've all been through that. I think it sucks because some of the greatest conversations in the last, and I mean this with all sincerity, if the aforementioned peoples do manage to somehow hear this, I do mean this with all sincerity. Some of the greatest conversations that I've had in the last 10 years of my life have been with all of them right here on this platform, on this venue, on this trap, the World Wide Web, or net, another type of a trap, a net. Yeah, some of the greatest conversations I've had have been when we were all together on here. And now it's like we're all separate. And yeah, we weren't even separate before we knew each other. And now there's this like separation that didn't even exist prior to us meeting. I don't know if I contributed to it. I don't know if I'm in fault of it. I don't know any of that. What I do know is it fucking sucks. We should be finding ways to unite, not finding ways to further segregate ourselves. There are a whole myriad of systems that have no other intention than to segregate us. We can, you know, there's things that will work to split us apart. The last thing any of us need to do is find ways to willfully split from one another. Yeah, and nobody, one of the peoples that we just mentioned, they won't even, they're so completely against YouTube, they'll never live stream on YouTube again. I'm not going to mention specifically who, but yeah, they've even basically told me, hey, look here, even if I could live stream on YouTube, I wouldn't do it. Now, see, I'm a little bit different. I mean, to me, YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, Instagram, any of that stuff, these are just tools. They don't mean nothing. They're fucking tools. It's a tool. You go out to the shed. You got to beat a nail into a board. You got a damn worthless piece of shit teenage son. He done run off with your favorite hammer and you can't find it. But there happens to be this big, heavy piece of metal sitting there. And you got to beat that nail into the board. What do? Do you go strangle your fucking son and threaten him until he returns your hammer and then you nail the nail? Or do you pick up the heavy piece of metal and nail the fucking nail? YouTube doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't matter which of these platforms that we use. They're tools. It's how we use them. That is what should have value. We're letting them, I don't know. I just, you know, I think it's a shame when the very tools that we should be using to connect ourselves, we use as a scapegoat to further back away from one another. Happens that way, though. It does happen that way. It should happen that way, but it does. I love all of my haters. And if there's something that I can do to convert them from being one of my haters to one of my allies, one of my supporters, that to me is what should be done. Because true strength, actual strength, is when we persevere through adversity. Real adversity. Yes, hatred is our enemy. And I don't know about the rest of the world, but I know that I always seem to conquer adversity best the more help I've got. And if that help comes from someone that hates me, if that help comes from a family member, if that help comes from the guy who's currently screwing my wife, none of that matters. What matters is persevering through adversity, because that's where genuine strength comes from. You know, you're able to, I've been there, I've done that, I got a t-shirt. That's where you accomplish something. The road getting there is just it sucks. It's cobbled, it's rough, hard on the ass. But we can't focus on that. No. You keep your eye on the prize. The prize is where you're at once you've gotten through that adversity. Because that's your triumph. That's your, that's the toy in the bottom of the cereal box. Yeah, the cereal might be good and sweet, but you ain't worried about the fucking cereal. Fuck that. I want the toy. I want that prize. But as long as we're all here, we all have. It's never too late to do the right thing. That's the neat thing about it. And social media affords us an innovative way to brainstorm, to come up with not necessarily new approaches, but maybe improved on approaches to the same evils that that have afflicted mankind for millions of years. Yes, I said millions of years because I perceive that none know how old we are. It's my own personal perception that we're at least 11.5 million years. So, that being said, I would imagine that at some point in that amount of time, people have had the same problems we've got today. And we all think that we've got the latest, the greatest, the best way of dealing with stuff. Probably not. But if we've got each other, whether we succeed or fail, we're better for it. We did it together. Yes. You always got to let people do things their way, and what's that? Tolerance is another virtue. It's like you might have what you perceive to be the best way, and for you it might be the best way. And you're looking at somebody across from you, and you're just shaking your head. It's pissing you off. They're just messing up right and left. And to be able to have the patience and the tolerance to let them go their own way. That's a hard one for a lot of us.
Oh, no. Not getting on it. Get off.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, if somebody always agreed with you, that would kind of, yeah, that would be like having what do you call them? The bands have them. What's that? What's that? What do you call them that follow the bands around? No, a groupie. Yeah, a groupie. There you go. That would be like having a groupie. I don't want somebody that hangs around and just agrees with my every word and looks up to me like I'm their damn idol and shit. No, hell no. That would be boring. That would definitely be boring. As much as I talk down to Freemasons, I've actually had a few of them in my lifetime that really great conversationalists. And we argued for hours, and They represent one side of a spectrum. I represent the opposite side of the spectrum. I'm probably not going to convert them. They're probably not going to convert me. But at the end of the day, I feel fortunate to have had the experience with them. Only a few. Notice I didn't say a lot. I'm not talking about the typical Blue Lodge, the typical, I've been a member of my mother lodge, and that's the only lodge I've ever really hung out at, and I know everything. I don't know nothing because I'm not learned that yet, but because of my position, someday I will know everything. I'm not talking about the average, typical, everyday idiot Mason. Not that I would say any Mason's an idiot, because most of them are very intelligent. Wonder who our watcher is? Well, if you'll look at the title. Okay. So my presumption would be somebody that works for Google. Google is a Five Eyes corporation. So that being said, oh man, there's no telling, really. There really is no telling. They won't talk. But then again, in all honesty, I could be completely full of shit. It could be someone who has already been mentioned, and he, she, or it could just be peacefully sitting back, biting their tongue, and seeing what I do. Seeing how I use or don't use things that may have been afforded to me to use or not use. And I'm being respectful. That's why I said this is an open mic. I don't have any specific topics. I'm not playing any copyrighted music. I'm not even going to put any copyrighted material on screen. And I'm not trying to insult any ethnicity, any religion, any spiritual ideology. I'm not even insulting liberals. And that's a hard one for me, because I usually got all kinds of anti-liberal stuff to say and be condescending and rude and arrogant and cocky and conceited. I'm not doing any of that. No, quiet watcher. I'm not watching my tongue for you. I'm watching my tongue just because I'm not here to argue. Not today. I love to argue. I do. I sincerely love arguing. What I like more than arguing is when the typical useless eater has the audacity to get in my presence and act as though they know something, and then I get to basically politely tell them they're fucking full of shit, and then prove it to them and watch them run away, with their tail between their legs. But I'm not even here for that. Not today. No, I'm not fighting nobody. There's no reason to fight. I've got enough of my own fights going on right now. I don't need a podium to fight. I've got a bunch of other stuff going on. So silent watcher, you are welcome here, and I love you. And if there's something I can do for you, please let me have the opportunity to serve you, whoever you are, whatever you are, good or bad. It doesn't make a difference to me. I perceive the energy isn't definable by good or bad, light or dark, negative or positive, yes or no, up or down, inside, outside. I think energy just is. Everything and nothing simultaneously are all portions of that same one energy. And I'm just like everything else right now. I have already established my position with regards to most factions of this incarnation. It is. I do like the silent watchers. It's always. Sometimes I'll end a live stream and I'll sit and wonder, and I'll try to figure it out. I've even went so far as to contact people or make contact with people, places, and things with the hopes of discovering who the silent watcher or watchers were. One thing for certain that I have learned since my days in MySpace, since my days using Windows 3.0, and since my days of America Online, waiting 35 minutes for my dial-up internet connection to go through, even prior to America Online. But one thing I've learned is that when you are on this trap, this World Wide Web, also the dark web, but predominantly this net, there's always a watcher or watchers. Always. You see, we're fortunate when we're on YouTube because we know that there's a watcher or watchers. A lot of places on the web, you don't know. Like Facebook, they've got rooms full of watchers. And they've got the technology down to the science, to the point that they've got a damn dictionary, an encyclopedia, a book with tens of thousands of words. And the very instant that someone, somewhere worldwide, posts a post with one of those words, they're on you. Ha! They're on you. And they're watching. And they're not cutting you no slack. And if you say something that goes against something, they're gonna try to they're gonna strike with fury. And you're not gonna see it coming. You're gonna be logged out of your account. Your account might be banned. But even more importantly than that, they're on you now. And when you leave that Facebook and you go somewhere else, guess what? They're coming with you. That's right. So when you get on Twitter, they're watching you. And then you turn around and you get off Twitter and you jump over to Snapchat, they're watching you. You go over to Instagram, they're still watching you. You say, fuck all of that. You log off your Windows-based computer. You log into Kali Linux. You open up your Tor browser. You get on the dark web. Ha ha. You thought you're the best hacker in the world. They couldn't follow you. Hey, them watchers, they're still watching you. Because you've did or said something and they have honed in on you, and that is it. They are on you now. People should be mindful of these things, but they never are. They don't even care. They're like, I'm saying the truth, so it don't matter. It always matters. It always, you've really got to, not that you should do or not do anything on the web, but you've always got to pay attention. This is it's not called a trap for nothing. Oh, excuse me. I misspoke again. It's not called a trap. You're absolutely right. It's a World Wide Web. Or a net. Either way, What's the purpose for a web? To trap things. Some things feed off of that, though. You know, you've got thought forms that do nothing other than parasites that do nothing other than feed off of the energies created by thought. And they can follow you in some twisted places. Yeah, some of these parasites can find you on the web. And guess what? You get so disgusted. You get so mad, you turn your computer off. You're going to go in your bedroom and you're going to smoke pot, drink beer, and say, fuck the world. Well, them same parasites that found you on the web, guess what? When you turned your computer off, they laughed and they followed you. Yeah. Another subject for another day. Thought forms. Oh, I think I got to let an animal in. This is interesting. Wow. Kitty. Oh, litter of feral kittens on the porch, frantically playing. It's nothing to be alarming. Here lately, the wild raccoons, I can go out on the porch and sit and eat. A wild raccoon come up on the porch, hang out with me while I'm eating. It's funny. I thought anger and fear tend to lead us in the wrong directions. They do. Because that's all ego-driven. Not necessarily a thought, but anger and fear are energy in motion, emotion, energy that is in motion. And it's my perception that those are ego-driven. The ego's a motherfucker. Now, a lot of Eastern philosophies will try to train you in ways of, I won't say completely get rid of the ego, but ways of censoring or silencing the ego. And I've never really, that's one area where I disagree with a lot of philosophy with. I think that the ego is a very crucial, integral component of the psyche that is necessary for survival. But I think that a pact has to be come to, because I think that the ultimate goal of any human should be for the unification of the subconscious mind and conscious mind, and any barrier between the subconscious mind and conscious mind should be dissolved. Left brain, right brain. Well, that's bullshit. That's a fractal. That's a broken, a compartmentalized. It's like you've got back to the hammer. It's like if you got a hammer with a removable handle. Yeah, it might be cool. It takes up less space. You know, it fits in the tool belt nicer. But what happens when you go to drive a really tough nail? You don't have the strength that the normal hammer would have. Your hammer with the detachable handle isn't going to be nearly as strong. Well, the brain's the same way. A whole brain. You know, we should be able to utilize the whole brain. But not just utilize the whole brain simultaneously. Fuck this conscious mind, subconscious mind, left brain, right brain, reptilian mind, brain. Fuck all that. None of that makes sense. To me, it seems that is creating weakness. And that weakness is what a lot of things seek to capitalize on. I'm going to find that dude's weakness in his mind and I'm going to suck it for all I can. Yeah. Happens all the time, you know? About over sweet tea. It's about time to go for some water. Some ice water with some lemon in it. Or maybe some coffee. There we go, folks. Some coffee. Try to find where we're at with this music. Take me a little small break. Get me some coffee.
I want to start by re-emphasizing the point that what are called the religions of the ones we're discussing, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Chinese Taoism, they don't involve that you believe in anything. They don't involve any idea of obedience to commandments from above. And they don't involve any conformity to a specific ritual.
I didn't pause.
Although they
Even
do
my
have
microphones.
as their
Hold up a
rituals vary
lecture, and I've got it
from
playing in the
country to
background.
country from time to time.
Chat.
Cool.
Their objective is always
That's a cool
not
music.
ideas, not doctrines, but a method. A method for the transformation of consciousness. That is to say, for a transformation of your sensation of who you are. And I emphasize the word sensation because it's the strongest word we have.
You need to soak in a hot tub.
Feeling directly. When you put your hand on the corner of the table, you have a very definite feeling.
Well, then I need
And when you are
bandages,
aware of
acid
existence,
tracing,
you
and
also have
peroxide.
a feeling. But in the view of these methods or disciplines,
Oh, okay. That's
the
a good idea.
ordinary person's definite feeling of the way he exists and who he is.
It would help.
is
It'll
an
hurt like a
illusion.
bad teeth, but if you could rub it good with a wash rag with
Feeling
dial
of
soap.
It's all swelled
as
up.
a
The whole
separate
fucking deal.
ego,
Yeah,
Big knot.
a
that's not
source
good.
of action and
That's
awareness
green shit.
is
That's
entirely
not.
separate and
Yep,
independent
I
from the
believe
rest
it.
of the world, somehow locked up inside a bag of skin,
Plus,
is
the movie
seen
come
as
on
a
in 12
hallucination.
minutes.
Oh,
But you are not a stranger to the earth.
Then you can take the shower then.
Well,
I'm still alive.
either as a result of a natural fluke or being a sort of spirit that comes from somewhere else altogether. But that you, in your fundamental existence, you are
Rush, I don't know where it's at. It was on the corner.
the total
It
energy
is.
that constitutes
Now it's
consciousness.
not now. Because start getting out to get stuff
Playing
out. And all the
that
way
it's
to the
you.
farm.
It's on the
Playing
top of
that
my
it's
car,
this
along with
particular
a flat.
and even playing that it's this particular person. Because the fundamental game of the
I
world
saw it when I take his
is a game of hide and seek.
camera.
That is to say that the colossal reality, the energy that is everything, that is a unitary energy, that is one, plays at being many, at manifesting itself in all these particulars that we call you and 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 this and that and all around us. And it's fundamentally a game. And you can say that this goes really for all the systems that I'm talking about. The basis of Hinduism, of Buddhism, and of Taoism. This intuition. Now today we're going to talk about Buddhism. Buddhism is an offshoot of Hinduism. You could in a way call it a reform of Hinduism, or Hinduism stripped for export. It originates in northern India, close to the area that is now Nepal, shortly after 600 BC. There was a young prince by the name of Gautama Siddhartha who became the man we call the Buddha. Now, the word Buddha is not a proper name, it's a title. And it's based on the Sanskrit root Buddh, B-U-D-H, which means to be awake. And so you could say the Buddha is the man who woke up from the dream of life as we ordinarily take it to be and found out who he was, who he is. It's curious that this title was not something new. There was already in the whole complex of Hinduism the idea of Buddhas, of awakened people. And curiously, they are ranked higher than gods. Because in the view of Hinduism, even the gods, or the angels, the devas, are still around on the wheel of the sort of squirrel cage, of going round and round and round in the pursuit of success. And the idea is that if you pursue something that you can call success, pleasure, good, virtue, which originally, of course, means strength, magical power, all these positive things, you are under illusion because the positive cannot exist without the negative. To be, you only know what to be is by contrast with not to be. So if we say, now, there is a coin in the left hand, there is no coin in the right. And from this you get the idea of to be and not to be. And you can't have the one without the other. So if you try to pursue
This
to gain
one I
the
fixed.
positive
This one I fixed.
and to deny, get rid of the negative,
What?
it's as if you were trying to arrange everything in this room
What?
so that it was all up.
I'm looking for you now.
Man, don't worry about it.
You set yourself an absolutely insoluble problem. Because the basis of life
What
is
does that mean?
spectrum.
Don't worry
Now
about it.
consider the spectrum of colors. When you think of a spectrum, in what form do you think of it? Most people think of it as a ribbon. With red at one end and purple at the other. But the spectrum is actually a circle. Because purple is the mixture of red and blue. It goes right round. So in this way, all sensation, all feeling, all experience whatsoever is moving through spectra. You don't only have the spectrum of color, you have a spectrum of sound, you have various complex spectra of texture, of smell, of taste, and you're constantly operating all the possible variations of experience. And it implies that you can't know one end of the spectrum without also knowing the other.
I'm still alive.
So if you wanted to, say your favorite color is red, you wanted only red, you had to exclude that from blue and purple. Without blue and purple, you can't have red. Behind, of course, all the various colors in the spectrum is the white light. And behind everything that we experience, all our various sensations of sound, of color, of shape, touch, there's the white light. and I'm using the phrase the white light rather symbolically. I don't mean it literally. But there is common to all sensations what you might call the basic sense. And if you explore back into your sensations and reduce them all to the basics, you're on your way to reality, to what underlies everything, to what is the ground of being, the basic energy.
Get off of me, honey. Don't stand on me.
And know that you are it. You transcend, you overcome, you surpass the illusion that you are simply John Doe, Mary Smith, or what have you. So then, the Buddha, as the man who woke up, is regarded as one Buddha among a potentiality of myriads of Buddhas. Everybody can be a Buddha. Everybody has in himself the capacity to wake up from the illusion of being simply this separate individual. The Buddha made his doctrine very easy to understand, because in those days there wasn't very much writing being done, and people committed things to memory. And so he put his doctrine or method in various formulae, which are very easy to remember. Now I'm going to explain it in those terms so that you can remember it just as well. He, of course, practiced the various disciplines that were offered in the Hinduism of his time. He found in a certain way that they had become unsatisfactory, because they had overemphasized asceticism, had overemphasized putting up with as much pain as you can. There was a feeling, you see, that if the problem of life is pain, let us suffer. And this is the root of the ascetics, you see, who lie on beds of nails, who hold a hand up forever and ever and ever, who eat only one banana a day, who renounce sex, who do all these weird things, because they feel that if they head right into pain and don't become afraid of it, but suffer as much pain as possible, they will by this time overcome the problem of pain. And they will set themselves free from anxiety. There's a certain sense in that, as you can obviously see. Supposing, for example, you have absolutely no fear of pain. You have no anxieties. You have no hang-ups. How strong you would be. Nobody could stop you. You would have ultimate courage. But the Buddha was very subtle. He is really the first historical psychologist, the great psychologist, psychotherapist. He is very subtle because he saw that a person who is fighting pain, who is trying to get rid of pain, is still really fundamentally afraid of it. And therefore, the way of asceticism is not right. Equally, the way of hedonism, of seeking pleasure, is not right. So, the Buddha's doctrine is called the middle way, which is neither ascetic nor hedonistic. So it's summed up in what are called the Four Noble Truths. And the first is called dukkha. Dukkha means suffering in a very generalized sense. you could call it chronic frustration. And it is saying that life as lived by most people is dukkha. Is an attempt, in other words, to solve insoluble problems. Try to draw a square circle. You can't. Try to arrange things in this room so that they're all up and none of them down. Problems cannot ever be solved. So try to have light without dark, or dark without light. It can never be solved. So the attempt to solve problems that are basically insoluble, to work at it through your whole life, that is dukkha. Now, he went on to analyze this, that there are what he called three signs of being.
My shoes on first.
The first is dukkha itself, frustration. Second is anicca. And this means the letter A in Sanskrit at the beginning of a word is often the equivalent of our non. So nicca means permanent, anicca means impermanent. That every manifestation of life is impermanent. And therefore, our quest to make things permanent, straighten everything out, get it fixed, is impossible and impossible. Therefore, we experience dukkha.
That's not
Or
good.
this sense of fundamental pain and frustration as a result of trying to make things permanent. And the third sign of being is called Atman. Now, you know, from talk on Hinduism, the word Atman means self. Anatman means therefore non-self. That there is in you no real ego. Now, I've explained that already. I've explained in talking about Hinduism that the idea of the ego is a social institution. It has no physical reality. It is the ego is your symbol of yourself. Just as the word water is a noise which symbolizes a certain liquid reality, so the idea of the ego, the role you play, who you are, is not the same as your living organism. Your ego has absolutely nothing to do with the way you color your eyes, shape your body, circulate your blood. That's the real you. But it's certainly not your ego, because you don't even know how it's done from the standpoint of your conscious attention. So the idea of Anatman is firstly that the ego is unreal. There isn't one. Now then, this then is the first truth. There is this situation that we have dukkha, or frustration, because we are fighting the changingness of things, and because we don't realize that the ego, the I, is unreal. The second of the Four Noble Truths is then called Krishna. Krishna is a Sanskrit word again, and is the root of our word thirst. And it's usually translated desire, but it is better translated clinging, grabbing, or there's an excellent modern American slangy word, hang up. That is exactly what Krishna is, a hang up. Krishna is clutching. As for example, what we call smother love, when a mother is so afraid that her children may get into trouble that she protects them excessively. And as a result of this, prevents them from growing. Or when lovers cling to each other excessively and have to sign documents that they will curse and swear to love each other always, they are in a state of Krishna. And this is the same thing as holding on to yourself so tightly that you strangle yourself. Now, so the second truth then about Krishna is that the cause of dukkha is Krishna. Clinging is what makes suffering. If you don't recognize that this whole world is a phantasmagoria, an amazing illusion, a weaving of smoke, and you try to hold on to it, you see, then you start seriously suffering. Krishna is in turn based upon avidya. The same negative. Vidya, from the root vid, means knowledge, as in the Latin video and the English vision. Avidya, therefore, is ignorance. Gnosis means, of course, to know. Knowledge is the same thing as gnosis in Greek. No, so this is not to know, to ignore, to overlook. And I explained in the first talk in this series how we ignore all kinds of things because we notice only what we think noteworthy. Therefore, our vision of everything is highly selective. We pick out certain things. Say that's what's there, just as we select and notice the figure rather than the background. Sometimes I draw this on the blackboard. Now the question is, what have I drawn? What would you say? What have I drawn? The circle. Any other suggestions?
I'm gonna leave this playing in the. I'm still live. I don't know. You want to watch the news? You want me to?
I would like to watch the news.
Yes.
You've been reading my books.
Yeah, first time I've been live in a long time, but okay, I'll leave it. It's all right. It's all right.
No, I mean, I won't die if I don't.
Cause I gotta take a shower and everything anyway.
Honestly, I won't die if I don't see
It's all right.
I was discussing it as a dialogue.
And I don't know why the fuck I just got spooked.
And I was discussing it to a great extent in relation to Far Eastern culture.
So did she.
How is it?
Spook. What are you talking about? Spook who?
Something just spooked me.
Hmm.
I heard something and it wasn't coming from your direction.
It's a ball game. So what channel then?
10.
Like that 10. That 10. Yeah.
Slide maintenance in the water dome when a chemical odor forced them to close the park to keep those guests safe.
Yeah.
Several ambulances were there, but the park says they aren't aware of anyone being taken off of the property for treatment. They worked with the fire marshal to make sure that the dome was operated properly before they opened it back up. It's been a little over a week since Ram founder Stan Brock died. And the first free clinic happened since
I don't know. I haven't
his
seen
passing.
him.
It's still happening this weekend. Brock left a legacy behind. He relied on volunteers who saw his vision too. The staff said everything at the clinic was business as usual. They offered dental, medical, and vision to patients who needed it, but they say they felt him there. A memorial to celebrate the life of Stan Brock is scheduled a few weeks from now. It'll be on September 27th at 6 p.m. at the Knoxville Civic Auditorium. Still to come, running with a purpose. Hear why dozens of people decided to give up half their day and spend it on the track. And The Voice is back in Knoxville tonight. Get a sneak peek at Chris Blue's concert at the Tennessee Valley Fair when we come back.
No, it isn't the space shuttle. It's the new Audi Q5 at Audi Knoxville, a Harper Auto Square dealership.
With Xfinity, you can stream more than 65,000 free shows and movies on the go. Whereas with DirecTV, well, not so much. Xfinity also has the X1 voice remote that lets you easily find your entertainment with your voice. Plus, Xfinity delivers reliable TV service, rain or shine, so you can watch without worrying. Whereas DirecTV, well, you get the idea. Don't settle for DirecTV. There have never been more reasons to switch to Xfinity. Sign up today or get started with this great offer. Click, call, or visit an Xfinity store today.
There was a time when social graces were simply more graceful. Ladies exuded charm, and gentlemen embodied verve and dash. There was a time when a room of one's own was more expansive than anyone could dream. There truly was such a time. It was last evening at Biltmore. Experience Biltmore as an overnight guest, now with 2 splendid hotels.
I'm Marsha Blackburn, and I approve this message.
Bill Bredesen was recruited by Schumer to run for the Senate. Bredesen donated a lot of money to Hillary Clinton. Crooked Hillary. Bill Bredesen supported her, and he supported her ideas. Phil, whatever the hell his name is, this guy will 100% vote against us every single time.
Of all the tools Tennessee teachers use, it's their heart that makes all the difference. That's why Channel 10, in partnership with Tennessee Lottery, honors one of our area teachers as the Educator of the Week every week of the school year. If you would like to recognize a deserving teacher, let us know. Go to WBIR.com, email educator@WBIR.com, or simply send us a letter and tell us how they stand out. The Tennessee Lottery Educator of the Week, because it takes heart to shape young minds.
Weeknights on MeTV, watch Andy at 8, Gomer Pyle at 9, and WKRP at 9:30. You can find MeTV over the air and on these and other providers.
Dozens of people hit the tracks to help our nation's military members. For 12 hours on Saturday, runners took to the track carrying the POW-MIA flag, raising awareness for prisoners of war and missing in action U.S. service members. Every runner was given dog tags with a POW name, date of capture, or date missing so that they could walk, run, or even roll in wheelchairs to honor that person.
We've been out here from 7 a.m. and we're going to keep going to 7 p.m. and we've kept the POW flag in motion. We've done over 45 miles so far today with that flag just traveling.
All proceeds will be donated to the Smoky Mountain chapter of the ex-POWs and local Air Force Sergeants Association. It was a pretty good day for a run today and a pretty good day for a football game if that one lightning bolt did not strike.
Yeah, 6 miles from the stadium.
6 miles from the stadium.
We almost got past. I had actually just posted a radar that was like, it's just outside of the 8-mile radius, and then boom, one of them landed in. So, but everybody was okay. Everybody did what they were supposed to do. Game resumed, and we had a great final score of 59-3.
Can't complain about that.
Not at all.
Unless you're the Buccaneers.
And I can't say I just can't say it wasn't unexpected. Let's go ahead to your weather here. 89 degrees was your high today. Low 71 this morning. Super duper muggy. That tells the story right there. When you have an overnight low still in the 70s when the average is 63, yeah, we got plenty of muggy tropical moisture around. That's keeping us nice and mild this evening, too. Mostly in the lower to middle 70s at this hour, and our lows will bottom out right around that 70-degree mark. Talking about the tropics, yeah, we've got 3 named storms right now. We've got Tropical Storm Florence, Isaac, and Helene. Helene is closest to the coast of Africa, looking pretty healthy here on the satellite. Winds now up to 60 miles per hour, moving to the west at 13. We're going to keep our eyes on that system. And then we've got Isaac, winds now up to 50 miles per hour. This one could be a problem for the Caribbean islands, the Lesser Antilles and the Windward Islands. It's forecast to actually move through there sometime during the day on Thursday as a Category 1 hurricane. So heads up if you had travel plans down to that area. We'll keep an eye on that one too. And then Florence, this is one that may come to visit the United States later this week. It's not looking super healthy on the satellite right now, but the structure of the storm is rebuilding after dealing with southwesterly wind shear for the last couple of days, just outside of being a hurricane. And it is forecast to continue strengthening back to hurricane status tomorrow, back to major hurricane status as we go into the early parts of the upcoming week. It will be in a very favorable environment for strengthening. And it's forecast to maintain that major hurricane status as it gets very close to the east coast of the United States. Now you can see how wide this cone of uncertainty is, how much curvature there is to the track. There's a lot of uncertainty with this system. Again, this would be next Thursday. So bottom line is we're keeping a close eye on it. We will continue to update you. If you have friends and family, though, anywhere from Northeast Florida all the way up to Virginia, they need to be paying very close attention to the storm. The question of will it or will it not impact East Tennessee depends on what it does with the coastline. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on it for you. And again, keeping you up to date. For the day tomorrow, scattered showers and storms are back in our forecast thanks to the remnants of Gordon. And as the frontal boundary pushes through Middle Tennessee tomorrow, we could see some locally heavy rainfall, flooding actually a concern from those showers that'll be moving through right around that dinner hour tomorrow evening. And then again, that front slowly meanders through the region and even kind of gets hung up over the mountains. We will keep those rain chances around actually not just for tomorrow and Monday, but into Tuesday too. And then for the end of the week, all eyes will be on the tropics.
All right, not a bad forecast there.
Nope, just got to keep the umbrellas handy. And again, check back for updates.
Because those tropics, they change constantly.
They do.
All right, Cassie, thanks. Chris Blue is proving why he is still the voice. The show's season 12 winner and recording artist showed off his smooth singing skills for the Tennessee Valley Fairground tonight. It's also the first weekend of the fair, and if you're planning on heading out there tomorrow, the rides will run from noon until 11 p.m., so you got plenty of time to do it. Coming up, we take you back out to Neyland Stadium, hear what Coach Pruitt thought of the football ball's performance today. That's next in sports.
Hear the latest East Tennessee weather 24/7 with Todd Howe on WJDT 106.5, your kind of country.
Performance, style, adventurous, safety. They say good things happen to those who wait. Well, you've waited long enough. Now at Toyota's Last Chance Clearance Event, you can get $22.50 cash back on a capable, versatile new 2018 RAV4, or get 0.9% financing for 60 months, or lease this RAV4 LE for just $209 a month. Make good things happen. Toyota, let's go places.
Introducing Unlimited with Payback, only from U.S. Cellular. The only unlimited plan that pays you back for data you don't use. So, quit flushing money down the toilet with Verizon. Bye-bye. It's payback time. Get unlimited with Payback and get paid back for data you don't use. You can save up to $240 per year on a single line versus Verizon.
From the weather and the band to the roar of the fans, WBIR's Home Field Advantage. Your home game breakdown. Why there's no place like home. Wednesdays on 10 News at 6. Brought to you by Ball Shop.
Two entertainment legends take the stage together for one night. Steve Martin and Martin Short. An evening you'll forget for the rest of your life.
Isn't it a great thrill to be here tonight? It's actually more than a thrill, it's an obligation.
Join these friends of over 30 years as they give you a glimpse into their history. Friday, September 28th, 8 p.m., Knoxville Civic Auditorium. Reserve seat tickets on sale now at the box office or Ticketmaster.com. With special musical guests, the Steep Canyon Rangers and Jeff Babko. Don't miss Steve Martin and Martin Short, produced by AC Entertainment.
When times are tough, we budget for our families. But when our state's budget was in crisis, Phil Bredesen supported higher taxes on us, higher gas taxes, sales taxes, and more. And while we struggled through a recession, Bredesen wasted $9 million taxpayer dollars upgrading his governor's mansion, $4 million on a party cave, gilded bathrooms, and a kitchen with 2 Tennessee homes. Phil Bredesen lived the life. We paid the bill. Americans for Prosperity is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Sometimes the best way to make a difference is just being there. Join us as we share how you can be a caring mentor to a child looking for a positive role model. And together, maybe you can live a little. Tuesdays at 5 on 10 News.
You just can't get away from the weather.
For the second straight week, the Vols had to sit through a weather delay, but this time they came out of the locker room with a little more juice and a 59-3 win over ETSU, Jeremy Pruitt's first victory as a head coach. The Vols went into the delay up 10-0 early in the second quarter, and Jeremy Pruitt said the strength and conditioning staff did a great job this week of getting the players pumped up and ready to restart the game. After the delay, Tennessee scored 3 touchdowns in a span of less than 2 minutes. One of them, a 33-yard pick six from senior linebacker Darren Kirkland Jr., his first career touchdown. He almost had one as a freshman, but Kentucky quarterback Patrick took him down near the goal line. Nearly 3 years and 2 significant injuries later, this time he wasn't going to be denied.
For sure, a couple of the older guys kind of reminded me of me getting hawked freshman year, and I was like, it wouldn't happen again. So I'm happy to be able to get the points on for our team.
Kirkland was one of 7 players to score their first touchdown as a Vol on Saturday. Tennessee had -1 rushing yard in the first quarter, but finished with 190 yards on the ground. Nashville area native Ryan Johnson made the move to center in place of injured grad transfer Brandon Kennedy, and he thought the offensive line played pretty well.
It's a lot more of a mental game at center, and it's kind of like being a quarterback, and that's it's a little bit more fun for an offensive lineman who you never get to touch the ball, so you kind of get to play quarterback for a little bit, But it's almost like a chess game at center because you've got to be able to read the defense. You got to see the blitz, whether that's a cross dog or a corner cat or smash switch, something like that. You have to be able to read that because you've been watching film and know that, and then you have to make your calls based on that. And so it's really narrow. But I think it's fun. I think we did that well, and I think we worked together as an offensive line.
Now we'll send things over to Kirsten Susel.
For head coach Jeremy Pruitt, there isn't a single player on his team that's entitled to playing time. He says the guys that practice the best during game week are the ones that are going to play on Saturday, and that was the case for the running backs this week. Pruitt said Ty Chandler could have played against ETSU, but because he suffered an injury in week 1, he wasn't able to practice until later in the week, and the other running backs earned the reps.
And Ty can't help it that he had an injury last week, but he really didn't get a chance to truly participate till about Wednesday or Thursday. And those other guys have had good weeks, so just to be fair to those guys, we should give them opportunities. And the way we were going to play Ty today, but the way the score got, we held him out.
Tim Jordan shined against West Virginia, but in week 2, it was freshman Jeremy Banks that took the spotlight. He rushed for 63 yards and 2 touchdowns. Madre London had 2 touchdowns as well. Farragut High School alum Joe Doyle made his Neyland Stadium debut as the starting punter for Tennessee, and his parents Lisa and Michael couldn't have been more proud. Joe is the youngest of 6 kids, so it was a sentimental day for them as well.
I cried last week. Yes, yeah. I was sweating a lot too. Obviously, it was hot.
I didn't cry.
Yes, he cries too. Yeah. No, it is. It's very sentimental for us.
Yeah.
Just growing up, he went to Farragut High School, and he's got a huge support team all around him.
He's had really great coaches, trainers in his life, and he's been really blessed with a situation that helped bring this about.
Lisa and Michael told me they were so excited about the game that they left their tickets at home and had to go back to get them. Luckily, they made it to the game in plenty of time. That'll do it here from Neyland. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Kirsten, thanks. This football player is grabbing headlines, but not just because of her gender. How she's proving that she's not the average high school kicker. Next.
The world never stops. It's constantly changing, evolving, moving forward. And so are we. Introducing Spectrum Mobile, built on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network, combined with our ultra-fast nationwide Wi-Fi network. Choose from our unlimited data plan for $45 a line, or our buy the gig plan for $14 a gig. Call 833-202-7283. Then enjoy a faster, better connection with streaming, surfing, gaming, or whatever you're into. All with unlimited talk and text and no contracts. Call 833-202-7283. The best network, the best devices, the best value. Switch to Spectrum Mobile today with our unlimited data plan for $45 a line and save up to 40% on your mobile bill. Or get our buy the gig plan and pay as you go for $14 a gig. All with unlimited talk and text. Call 833-202-7283 or visit SpectrumMobile.com.
Hello, my cat. It's our 2018 closeout, and check out these deals. Dodge Caravan SXT, 18,888, 2014 Toyota Camry, 12,888, 2011 Honda Accord, 98,88. 06 Ram 2500 diesel, 13,888. 2013 Hyundai Genesis Grand Touring, 17,888. So hurry on in, because when they're gone, they're gone. You've got to scratch a Jeep Ram.
At Daily Blast Live, we're talking about what you're talking about. We may not always see eye to eye. I said it.
The most honest and bold moments happen face to face. Oh, I love you, but you're wrong.
Join the live discussion. We're the only daytime show talking with you in real time. The conversation never stops. Daily Blast Live, weekdays at 2 on Channel 10.
I think it was a great idea to stop. Our old TV provider decided to stop providing our school's games. So I bought this bad boy. Road trips every Saturday. And tetanus shots every Monday. But that Dish guy, the one who listens, he heard this thing coming. He said, switch to Dish. You get every major D1 football game right here at home. You want to check out the inside? Carpet's original.
Stay home and get every major D1 game with Dish tuned into you.
The Oak Ridge Boys in concert. Friday, September 21st at Country Tonight Theater in Pigeon Forge. For tickets, call 865-453-2003. Visit firstclassconcerts.com for more info. These great sponsors welcome the Oak Ridge Boys.
One high school senior in Mississippi is definitely living her best life this week. Kaylee Foster, who you see here, not only takes on the kicking duties for her high school football team, but was also crowned homecoming queen last night. And it seems she wasn't done there. Boom, there it is. A short time after taking the crown, Kaylee kicked the game-winning extra point. And thanks to her, her school won 13-12. But get this, 7 of the 13 points came from 2 field goals and that extra point. She carried a lot of the weight. And then Saturday morning, she woke up early to take the ACT. Then she got ready that night for the homecoming dance. Not busy at all, Cassie.
No, we were talking about it earlier. We were like, hashtag goals. I wish I could have been that cool when I was in high school.
Right.
Talk about a dream weekend for her.
Felt like I was lucky if my socks matched in high school.
I was just in the band.
That's a good thing, too.
It was.
Good for her. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We will see you right back here tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
During Ford SUV season, find out why more people come back to Ford than any other brand. Here's a reason.
We've got room.
And here's another.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And by the way, Ford has won more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. Right now, during Ford SUV season, get 0% financing for 60 months, plus $2,000 total cash back on Escape, Edge, and Explorer.
Hey, did you know that my mom's a superhero? Really? Yeah, when a tornado hits, they call my mom to come help. She races to the scene with her team, and they use their powers to help everyone get their things fixed. Whoa!
Everything okay with your friend back there?
Yeah, he's never seen a superhero before.
Find your insurance superhero at shelterinsurance.com.
Fast, reliable internet is crucial. Does it ever go down?
Yes.
Can't do my job.
Business grinds to a halt.
Our gig speed network not only downloads files up to 20 times faster, we go beyond fast with 4G backup for complete reliability. So if the unexpected happens, you stay up and running. We lost power, but not to that.
I want that.
Just one more way we go beyond AT&T. For a limited time, get fast, reliable internet for a low price. Call now. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
It's the perfect time to join Planet Fitness. Join now for just 25 cents down and then just $10 a month. No commitment. And now through September 13th, enter to win 2 UT Florida tickets with a VIP tailgate experience in Tennessee Park. 25 cents down, $10 a month, and no commitment. Sign up in club or online at planetfitness.com/falls tickets. Planet Fitness, proud partner of the University of Tennessee Volunteers. No purchase necessary. See club for details.
Thank you for watching WBIR.
Mr. Vice President, I feel like I say this every week. I'm beginning to regret my wish to become a real boy. I toss and turn in my shoebox on, and I'm wondering what's the FBI going to do next?
I know. We're in a real pickle here, Jeff. And you know how uncomfortable I am.
Goes on top of my car, right next to that box.
I can't believe they raided Michael Cohen's office. What are we going to do, Mike?
The important thing is to stay calm. A couple months.
I'm gonna put some rocks up before I'm gonna get back in there. There's too much shit struck out in here, and you know, getting on the wire.
Excuse me, Mr. Sessions.
Baby.
Are they here for us?
But I gotta put some rocks on my leg and shit first,
President's lawyer, Michael
and
Cohen.
then let it dry.
Oh.
Move, Karma.
By all means,
Let
let's
down.
go in.
Fucking move.
That's right. Michael Cohen, attorney at law. Sometimes not.
It hurts too bad. I did wash it, but I couldn't. I didn't get to wash it like I would want to.
This whole raid was
It's
complete
too
violation of
sensitive.
attorney criminal privilege.
That's what's his name? Ben Stiller or
Nothing to worry about.
yeah.
Is that a joke? Look, we got a real problem here, Jeff. You know.
Those yellow daikons are called takuan after this man. And he wrote a letter on the art of swordsmanship, where he explains the necessity of spontaneity in fencing is that if you have to stop to think about how you're going to respond to a certain kind of attack, it's too late. You'll be dead.
Okay, let's see if we can do this easily. We can put fisters.
The smartest, kindest,
Spook!
sexiest, least polluting man on this planet.
I'm trying to get my leg done, Spook, so you have to. Spook, baby.
Michael, the reason we brought you here today is there's someone who would like to see you.
Gotta worry about
Oh, great.
Mr. Balance.
Don't worry about it. He's down the hall waiting.
And remember, whatever happens, you have our full support.
Spook.
Okay? So right this way, thank you so much. Thank you for coming in. I cannot wait to see that little dummy burn. Oh!
What is this place?
Let me. Oh, this sucks, Spooky. Oh, Spook! Let's see if we can. Ow! Ah! Ah!
Something, Mr. Cohen? Robert Mueller?
I'm just trying to do it like this,
Let's
Spooky.
have a seat, Mr. Cohen.
Ah!
Put these on.
Ah, it's fucking. Yeah, it's nasty, Spooky. Does it stink?
I feel like I have. Great.
Probably, huh?
Look, I want you to know I will gladly go to jail to protect Mr. President Trump. Just relax, Mr. Cohen. If you're innocent, you have nothing to worry about. I'll start with some easy ones. How'd you like that pee-pee tape? I'm kidding. Relax. We'll get to that later.
Ah!
You're Michael
Yeah, it's been coming out.
and you're a lawyer. Ish. Did you
My fucking leg is fucking rotting off.
$130,000 to Stormy Daniels? Yes. And did President Trump know about it?
Wait a minute, I want to see you.
No.
I got peroxide. You'll gauge your perception.
I think you're lying.
The whole infected. My whole fucking leg's infected.
like rock you throw through a window with a note tied to it that says "Stop talking." So you threaten people. Directly, no. But let's just say I'd cut a lot of letters out of a lot of magazines. I just try to milk some information out of people. So what? Did you say milk? Yeah, like the cow.
Spooky. Come on.
It's like really not the time.
She just came in. She's all happy.
Baby girl.
We're gonna figure out what's going on with you.
Spooky. Hi, baby princess.
Really?
Princess Puff.
I have
Hi,
nipples.
baby.
Can you
Little
milk
baby
me?
girl.
Yeah, it's
I
fucking.
love you.
The whole fucking thing is fucked up.
Yes.
I can feel it out to here. Like,
Yes.
Not true.
it's all like if you feel this and then feel this, it's completely different. Like feel this, now feel this. The whole, it's just all
Now it's
fucking.
Stormy's little bitch. What about Ivanka's code name? Girlfriend. Jared
Let that
Kushner,
dry.
other girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm tired of
Junior
fucking
and
with
Eric?
it. Ah!
Two Fredos. What
I
about
don't really
my
want to
code
keep
name?
fucking with it.
Dead man walking.
The whole fucking. Yeah, I just need.
I don't have to take this
That's
from
a
you. I
whole
have
big
rights.
giant whole pocket of shit.
This is gonna help a
Yeah.
lot.
Think you have.
Yeah.
You
It'll
broke
probably
the
be
law.
very gross.
And now we're gonna catch
When we take it off tomorrow.
Got that?
Yeah, it says that.
Because it's gonna probably make it open up and let that shit loose.
Good.
Okay, but I will tell you this. Live from New York, it's
Robert De Niro and everybody on here. It's changed a lot, man, as I'm getting older.
It's pretty neat. Non-stick pads.
Yeah.
Leslie Jones.
No, I think that'll be a good idea.
Yeah. Yep. I'd fold it in half.
I'm going to.
Kyle Mooney.
Because I want to be sure it's not going to come off. I don't want it airtight.
I don't think it would matter. I mean, tonight, this first night, probably be good to be airtight.
Well, I know this. I want that open. I want that open. Because all that red is because of being infected around it. And I want it open.
Yeah, because you've got a lot of meat right there. Well, I don't.
You don't.
That my fucking hurts to walk. The whole fucking
Hopefully.
shin. I'm just all fucked up these days.
I don't want you, you know, I mean, you don't usually take ibuprofen and you're not going to be taking it. That's a pretty neat keyboard. I don't mean to be all funny about it. Huh?
It's a nice keyboard.
It's cool, isn't it?
It's expensive keyboard.
But
Mechanical as opposed to, I don't know how to describe it to you, as opposed to electronic.
I know this. I'm going to put this on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta hold still because I want it thick. Because I want it to be able to do magic overnight.
Thank you very much. It is great to be here hosting Saturday Night Live. That is a very weird thing to say.
Yeah, I know. My endearing fans are waiting patiently for me to.
5 years.
Yeah, I was supposed to be taking a 30-minute intermission, and it turned into a 40.
I used to write monologues for the host. Now I'm up here. I get to give the monologue. I get to introduce the musical
Yeah,
guest.
just set it where you want it, and then I'll hold it when you
The best
take
intro, by the way, I ever saw of an SNL host with the musical
That way we ain't got all this
Sir
air
Patrick
floating around in it.
Okay? Sir Patrick Stewart was introducing the musical guest, and this is how he did it. He went, ladies and gentlemen, salt and pepper! Like he was surprised by pepper.
Like minutes before, they'd been like, we can't find Peppa anywhere. And he was
Well,
like,
you got your fucking. I'll tear you a few pieces like that, so you don't have to keep doing that shit. Here, just tear it off and then put it on.
3, 2, 1, and Peppa bursts through the door, and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, Salt, and what's this?
You don't know how sensitive it is.
Peppa!
Yeah, let me help you. I'll tear you a few off.
I just need one more.
Okay, well, tear it off.
Why?
Because you're putting all that pressure on
When I was
there.
younger, I thought that the world was going to be simple and nice. But now, at the end of my life, I'm not so sure.
Hopefully,
I'm grumpy, which I don't like.
I don't get
like
that
any
Perkins.
new songs.
Oh.
I don't like any new songs. Because every new song is about how tonight is the night. And how we only have tonight.
And I hope it'll stay on at least until tomorrow.
Such 19-year-old.
And what I'm hoping, because I don't want it, don't do it airtight, Heath. Don't do it that way.
You don't know them glasses, you know.
I'm pretty damn sure what you want.
Okay, well, then
Oh,
let's just
okay,
not see
that
each
may
other
help.
for 6 months, and it doesn't matter at all.
I want to see sure it stays on at least one night.
Yeah.
I want it to come off tomorrow.
When my wife and I walk down the street, we have totally different styles. When she walks down the street, she does not care what anyone thinks about her in any situation. She's my hero. When I walk down the street, I need everyone to like me so much.
Anyway, you do me a big favor.
Exhausting. My wife said that walking around with me was like walking around with
The
someone.
easy part's going to be to get me a
nothing.
glass of ice water with some lemon in it.
People ask us
That'd
if
be
we're
easy.
gonna have children. We don't have any, and so we
But
say
I was
no.
decided to get
They go,
me
never, you're
my
never gonna have
vitamins
kids. And I'm like, I don't know, never. Look,
and
14 years ago,
ibuprofen.
I smoked cocaine. The
And
night
getting the
before my
vitamins,
college
the only hard part is when
Now
you
I'm
get
afraid to get a flu shot.
vitamin C, put as many, it don't matter. 3, I take as many as 5, it don't matter. Everything else is 1, but when you get to a multivitamin, you've got a selection. I've got the old people multivitamin,
I was in
and then I've got just a regular multivitamin, either or, but one of them, and one of everything else. That means B12, B6, E, folic acid, fucking, yeah, the plethora.
E is good for your skin.
No, I might be out of here.
I used to take that when I was in the Air Force.
Yeah, and it's plus, it's like my mouth keeps filling up with it. I just go to spit, my mouth's full of pus. It's everywhere. My leg, my sinus.
And everyone died. Okay. Josiah, you had something? Yes, I do.
It sucks. And this really sucks. I don't know why. I love Saturday Night Live, but I just hate hearing it anymore.
I just hate hearing it now.
Let's see. Back to Alan Watts. Back to my endurance.
Terribly important to find this out. So you have a great doubt. That is to say, you have an urgent spirit of inquiry. And you can't get it, and you can't get it, and you can't get it. The teacher keeps saying, now, come on, let's go. Let's be ready to give your life for this thing. But you see, if you go into a Zen monastery, and you don't have that spirit of inquiry.
Oh, what is up? What is up? I'm back, YouTube. Sorry about that extended intermission. I didn't mean for it to happen that way. Delcor, hope you're still in chat. I see you are still in chat. I seen Perf popped up earlier. Yeah, hi, you missed the tag. Actually, that's my mother. But anyway, if you heard or seen her, it was inadvertent. But you know, no harm, no foul. Didn't matter. All that mattered. I'm back. Had to take care of some stuff. Unwatchable anymore. You're absolutely right. As a child, absolutely loved that show. It was one of the ones we grew up with, you know. Saturday Night Live. It was a staple. It's just what you do. It's Saturday night. You got with Saturday Night Live. It's just what you do. I don't know why. It's funny. It's what you do. But now it's no longer comedy, you know. It's let's make fun of our piss poor predicament. Our elections are rigged, and and none of us are willing to do a fucking thing about it, and it sucks. So rather than get proactive rather than change it. Let's just make fun of how fucking fucked we are. And is it me and you? Is it the common average Joe Q public citizen making fun of our piss poor predicament? No, it's the haves poking fun at the piss poor predicament that the have-nots are in. And meanwhile, the have-nots sit there in their oblivion and laugh at themselves. I don't know what the fuck these dudes is talking about, but it sounds funny. They're laughing at you. They're laughing at me because they're not in the same shape we're in. And it wasn't, Saturday Night Live didn't used to be that way. Yes, Saturday Night Live, let me rephrase this conversation just a bit. Saturday Night Live was known for political satire, if you will. The occasional parody. Yeah. Poke fun at a president. A president would even occasionally be in the audience laughing at his ass getting made fun of. But now we're making fun of real life, just atrocity. We have a pervert, a sexual deviant, who, whether or not we admit to it, whether or not we support him or don't support him, is a racist, or at least has provable links to racist groups as a president. Ain't nothing new, we just had a crack addicted faggot that was married to a cross-dresser that wasn't even from America or even born in America or even had an American citizenship that was legitimate or provable. And we had him as president. That's not the point I'm making. The point that I'm making is that nowadays, Saturday Night Live picks, their writers pick topics based on what their algorithms tell them is going to generate the most buzz. And, it's so scripted that if a person pays attention, they can almost look through the headlines through the week, and they can almost within reason predict which skits will be on Saturday Night Live this week.
All right. You have to turn your hand over.
Oh yeah, it's a bunch of them. Yeah, I'm getting ready to take 40-something vitamins, folks. Bear with me for a minute here. Not 40-something, only, I don't know, 20. Let's see some. What we got? Vitamin B6, B12. No vitamin E. Oh, vitamin C, vitamin E. Got the folic acid. Yeah,
folic acid, multivitamin 2. And some ibuprofen for that. Inflammation. Yeah.
Okay, back to it. Yeah, to watch regular television, I just can't. I can't fathom it. It's not for me anymore. We lost it. Just can't do it.
Cigarette.
What?
You have to.
Okay, thank you. You just can't watch it anymore. And then the commercials are what probably turned me against it, even worse than the content itself. Do I really need to know where the Joneses need to eat at?
Oh, I got something.
Do I really need to know what to buy? Do I really need to know what car I need to drive to be considered economically equal to the cesspool I live in, I live among? Television programming. How much programming do I need? How much do I need to be taught just to be able to get through my day-to-day operations?
You better come here. Sit. Sit.
Oh yeah, we're still on this puppy training deal,
Sit.
folks. You can hear her in the background being very loud, but it's okay. Oh, that big puppy is just gotten. She's a bad puppy. Lucky to be born in '63. The music, you know, one of I have a very well-rounded musical palette, with the exception of rap. For the most part, I enjoy most music from every genre imaginable. I even like some opera. I don't understand it. I don't comprehend it. I can't tell you the fucking words. I can't sing along. But
Your grandfather loves.
I like it. Let's see. My poor pooch is not going to live much longer. That's sad, Dale. This is the first dog that I have gotten. Yeah, rap is crap. Now, in my younger days, you had people like Herbie Hancock making a name for himself, introducing synthesizers to the world of music. And some of the first people, you know, that was one of these new cutting edge type technologies, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I know the Doors and others did it well before that. But one of the first genres to really grab hold of using technology in the process of making music was rap. And that was what it was called back then. It was just plain old rap. And I did frequent a lot of areas in the United States that were mostly black. I lived in a lot of mostly black neighborhoods. So I was naturally, I had a lot of, there was a lot of urban stimulation there. So a lot of it I did like, you know, I went through a phase. I had, let me see, what was it? The regular, the white 3-striped Adidas tennis shoes with the big old fat shoestrings. Been there, done that. But that was when rap was a style of music. It wasn't an entirely negative political statement. It wasn't, I like fucking whores and bitches, and I got all the money, so of course I get all the fucking hoes and bitches. I get all the fucking hoes and bitches so that I can fuck them when I'm bored because I'm selling all this dope and the poor motherfucking cracker ass motherfucking white people fucking me all up. That's why I got to be out here selling all this dope and killing all my motherfucking own kind of people. But at least I got all the hoes and motherfucking bitches while I'm slinging all the dope to all you dumbass motherfucking bitches. And there was a time when it wasn't about all of that. I'm not going to say that back in that time that the ghetto wasn't a rough place to be. I'm not going to say that street life has ever been easy. But we didn't glorify the degradation of our people. When I say our people, I don't give a fuck if you're an Indian, a fucking Chinese motherfucker, a white dude, a black dude. You didn't, it wasn't popular, and society, you didn't get to be a millionaire bragging about killing motherfuckers. Let's see. Post the link now, Dale. Post that link now. We didn't, as society, we didn't glorify the shit of society. Yes, folks, don't get me wrong. We still lived in a cacistocracy even then. We probably even were aware of the fact that we lived in a cacistocracy then. For those of you that may not know what a cacistocracy is, it is a system of government in which a society elects the worst, the lowliest of society to rule said society. Basically, we take the worst fucking psychopaths, and rather than get rid of them, we elect them into high office. That's a cacistocracy. And back then, that was okay. Rap was more about, to me, what was appealing was the, more than anything, was the beat. It was completely different than anything I had ever heard. I got a father who's a long-haired fucking hippie freak, so I go from listening to classic rock predominantly. Then I get thrust up around my grandparents, step fucking family, blah, blah, blah. And I'm listening to fucking bluegrass and fucking country. There's all this wide array of different things that were stimulating my musical taste. One of the most unique things at that time was the rap. And then I remember it just like it was yesterday. I was in elementary school. Yeah, elementary school. And there was that the Ice-T rapper guy. And a buddy had a tape in which Ice-T was rapping about getting buck naked and fucking. Yeah, I got caught with that tape too. And that tape got destroyed. I got another one that got destroyed. I wasn't allowed to listen to that. Was not allowed to listen to any of that. Yeah, you don't want to get in copyright trouble. I will, if it will let me open it up silently. It probably. Apologies for that, folks. I will most definitely check it out. Oh, Dale Core. He's a weird sort, man. I don't know where to go with that whole subject on the dad topic. I've oftentimes felt like my mother's family hate me for no other reason than I am my father's son. And my father's family hate me for no other reason than I am my mother's son. And for some strange, odd reason, myself and siblings were trapped in the middle, and it's like we've just been hated by fucking everybody forever. He's a weird dude. I wish him the best. I have tried, I don't know, several times throughout life to friend him. I've tried reconnecting with mine. He has a successful YouTube channel. Does quite well for himself and his, I can't say new family because they've been happily married and blah, blah, blah for fucking 30 years or whatever. But he never really wanted anything to do with his original family. And yeah, that's old news. That's in the past. So I don't really mention him much because he's not really he's not an active player, you know. I'm sure in his way, in his perception, in his life, in his experience, he has his variations. He has his reasons on why he reacted the way he did to his variations or how he perceived things to have occurred. And I try not to hold that against him. I just I usually don't even I really try not to even think about him. It just gets me nowhere. I'd like to say I have a father, but then again I don't. So, you know. I don't like to allow certain aspects of life to influence life, you know. It would really suck if someday I was held accountable some way, somehow, for the way I feel or don't feel about someone who was never really an active role in my life. You know, that would really suck. So you mean I'm pissed off at dude because he never did the right thing, and now I'm being judged and being held accountable for never liking dude? Fuck that. I would much rather just, you know, yeah, I got a father. It's about, I never really, you know, but family's a hard one for me because most people know I've never really, I mean, I don't really, you know, if we look into the etymology of the word, do I have family? Well, hell yeah, I guess I probably have tens of thousands of family. Do I have family in the traditional sense? Do I got cousins, aunts, and uncles and shit? No, I ain't got none of that. I got a goddamn sister, don't even live 20 minutes from me, and I see her maybe once a year, once every couple years. She doesn't even, she won't even like a post on Facebook. But try not to, you know, all that stuff. It does have an effect. It goes into formulating who we are, and who we are is not a constant, it's a variable. I'd like to think that types of things help to create the path, you know? It's like we're all on this path. We're all heading somewhere for some purpose, for some reason. And I think that there are a lot of things which determine that path. You know, as a being, a sentient being, you have free will. It's my perception that free will only affords you the ability to do one thing, and that's make choice. Well, when you think about making choice, what are you choosing from? A lot of times we too often get caught up into compartmentalizing choice. We think that when we make choice, it's you got to pick something good, or you got to pick something bad, or you got to. I don't think it's any of that at all. I think that there's a trajectory that you are on, and optimally, you're heading a certain direction. But then there's things that will compel you to deviate from that direction. Well, what decides whether you stay on the appropriate course or you deviate? And I think that's where choice comes into play. I think that there are situational obstacles that are intentionally put in your path, that are put in your path to compel you to make choice. And each time this occurs, there is a crossroads that's created. Are you staying on your path? Are you steadfast in your resolve? Or is someone breaking your course? Is something breaking your course? Is something distracting you? Is something an adder in your path? And what are you doing when you face that adder? We're the creators here. That's what makes us so special. Why do you think so many people want to control so many entities want to control the world? Do they really want to control the world? Hell no. The world's fucking worthless. There's fucking billions of them. But this is special because to control this means to control me and you. And controlling me and you is crucial. It's important to them. Because we have the ability to create. Not everything can create. We can create. We created all of this. Every fucking bit of it. That's why when we have talks about, say, my perception being America being the new Atlantis or the new world. Yeah, a lot of times people hear new world and they get all fucking lost in the rabbit holes, lost in the snares, distracted. Their little heads get all discombobulated and they get all confused and they don't know what to do and everything's bad and it's all Illuminati. Everything. Yeah. When they get lost in all of that, they forget that they're creating. You know, so sadly, you don't like the idea of a new world order to go along with a new world, then stop fucking creating their new world for them. If you don't create their new world for them, they will not need a new world order to go along with the new world that they compelled you to create on their behalf. Because you're the creator. They don't have the ability to create. They've lost that. And then there's a lot of entities that just don't have the ability to create. They're parasites. They're fucking leeches. That's an insult to leeches because there's a lot of parasites that actually have value. But they're a type, there's entities in this place that really don't have the value that we attribute them with having. Regardless of one's spiritual alignment, most people should be able to comprehend that when you hear a statement like you're created in God's image, it means something pretty important. And I'm not talking about a Christian God. I'm not talking about a Zen God, a Buddha God, a Muslim God. I'm talking about an ideology. You know, a God is being like a representation or a figurehead. Because that's a belief system. The idea of a God is a belief system. It's the idea that something is supreme, which would likewise mean that something else is not supreme. So if you were created within the idea of something being supreme, that's a pretty powerful thing. Not everything could claim that. So regardless of your spiritual affiliation, to be able to be considered an aspect of something truly divine, that's kind of neat. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that for us to all live in love and freedom, we have to be able to get to the point where we can recognize that there is no you and me. Bliss is all there is. Pure, unbridled, unedited, commercial-free energy. And we spend however many lifetimes it takes completely cut off from everything we truly know. And we spend those lifetimes seeking for what we always knew all along. There's no you. There's no me. There's no star. There's no planet. There's no sun. There's no God. There's no fucking carpet under my feet. There's none of that. There's only pure love, pure energy. And I think that that's what the whole travel is about, you know? You search the cosmos, trying to learn it all. You want to get to the end and you want to figure it out. You want to know everything. Here, the joke's on you, because all this time you're looking and shit and you're searching. But you already know it all. Because you are all. You thought meeting me taught you something. You thought marrying that chick got you true love. You thought having this kid gave you a way to pass this on. You thought all this shit. And at the end of the day, you realized, you finally self-realized that all of that was always you to begin with. That all of them distractions, all of them separations, race, color, creed, nationality, species, origin, surname, they didn't exist. But it took you however many lifetimes within however many species to finally realize that you're a piece of one. And then once you get to that point where you can realize that, hey, wait a minute, I figured it out. I'm everything. Now you have to figure out how to get back to that one, to reconnect back with source, just pure bliss, pure divinity, pure energy. And religion, I've covered that word so many times. Religion, meaning to bind again or rebind. And it comes from the word legare, which means to bind. What is being bound when we think in terms of religion? When we think in terms of religion, what is being bound is the soul or the essence to the physical body. That's why religion is a trap. But you need religion because religion, like everything else, the universe is a university. Religion is a teacher. It takes going through religion to learn spirituality. It's a rough way to go about it. If I designed everything and had it to redo all over again, that is not the way I would lay it out. I would probably design it a little bit better because, religion is, when you look throughout humankind's history, the most atrocious things we've ever done to this place, we've ever done to each other, what did we do them in the name of? Government. And what's government? Government and religion are the same thing. There's no difference there. That's why you'll never find one without the other. And they both go hand in hand forever and always, everywhere. All of society has always been that way. You cannot find one historical record of humankind existing anywhere that didn't have both. And both were always working hand in hand. No, probably not the best work. Well, that's why, you know, if you look at into stuff like the idea of a multiverse. You see, because when you make a choice, here's what happens. When you make a choice, there is no good and bad. There is energy. And when you make a choice, there is an infinite number of realities created in which that choice that you made has what you would perceive as a positive outcome. There's an infinite number of realities created in which that choice that you did not make has a negative outcome. And you're responsible for all of that. The good and the bad, the light and the dark. Today, when I got up this morning, I was thinking about eating cereal, but instead, I ate scrambled eggs. Because that thought existed, there is a reality somewhere, somehow, in which I ate the cereal. But then there's also the other worlds that are created in which I ate the scrambled eggs. Some of those worlds where I ate the scrambled eggs, I ate ketchup on the scrambled eggs. Some of them worlds, I ate hot sauce on the scrambled eggs. Some of the worlds, I put honey on my cereal. Some of the worlds, I put nothing on my cereal. And just because I am tied or locked or bound to this three-dimensional existence or state of being doesn't make any of those other infinite realities any less valuable. It just means that this particular third-dimensional state of being is the one I'm existing in. That's where you get stuff like deja vu, because occasionally, now see, all of these infinite realities are supposed to be simultaneously existing independently of each other. But sometimes, for whatever reason, glitch in the matrix, whatever happens, they overlap. And we call it all kinds of shit. I mean, what's this new age idea? Now it's a Mandela effect. And then there's fucking deja vu. And we've had all kinds of ways to describe these synchronicities. Oh, there's a code. It explains it all. Blah, blah, blah. I just ain't smart enough to figure it out. No. We ran around fucking bouncing off walls trying to figure out what we all already know. What we all have always already known. I always figured this place was some sort of a machine. Some type of for lack of a better way of putting it, a biological computer of a sort. I don't think that physical exists or exists as we perceive it to exist. I don't believe there's any ball-shaped planets. I don't believe that there's any flat planets. I think that both are intentional snares to trap you into one mindset or the other. And I don't think that either really matter. I think that but what happens is when you get trapped in these certain mindsets, it closes the mind down. And when you don't have an open mind, you're not able to take in additional stimulation regarding certain things. And I think that's the whole fucking point. I think that this place is think of this place as a giant fucking computer, and some people have actually got the hacking skills to hack this motherfucker, and have done it and are doing it and will continue to do it. But I also think that we can figure it the fuck out and transcend away from those lower vibrational states of being. And when we do it just right, something beautiful happens. Do you magically disappear and people talk about you forevermore throughout history? I don't know. I know that when I looked up, when you start researching history, the Buddhas, the Muhammads, the Jesuses, the Amun-Ra's, all of them names and them types of figures or whatever the fuck them even are come out a lot. We depending on what particular doctrine you follow, you may agree with them, you may be against them. But they're considered great to a great number of humans. I've always liked it. I heard it a few years back, and I liked it then. Ascended Masters. Yeah, we're taught at an early age to not get to know each other. We're taught that getting to know your boss's daughter might lead to a raise at work, a good promotion. Getting in good with the pastor's wife might lead to a better seat at church. Get in good with Granny and get better Christmas presents than the rest of the kids. But the people, the like-minded or the peoples that have the potential to be like us, we rarely even meet. We rarely even get the opportunity to meet. There's a reason for that, though. It's simple. Strength in numbers. What do? You keep the numbers small. What do? People that have potential, you segregate them and keep them as far away from society as possible. Do whatever you can do to make them, just let them have a job and let them get through society, through human existence with as less friction as possible. And that's what they do. Why? I'll never have $1 million. Why won't I have $1 million? Because they know that if they gave me $1 million today, I'd take $500,000 tomorrow and I would start a nonprofit that did actual good. I'd take the other $500,000 and I'd probably invent some ham equipment, and I'd have a damn radio following that had 100,000 fucking followers every week, and I'd probably build an army. How do they prevent me from building an army? Oh, that motherfucker, he will be poor white trash for all of this existence. We will see to it no matter what. And if he does win a lottery, if he gets lucky, which we're going to try to prevent, the next day, we're going to send the fucking SWAT team to kick in his fucking door, and we'll put him in prison for 20 years because we heard he treated his neighbor's cancer with a fucking cannabis cigarette. Yeah, They keep us segregated for a reason. They don't want us to be able to unite. There's a homeless shelter one time. I've told this story before. I met what was he? He was a three-star lieutenant. He was a lieutenant general in the Army back during Nam, and he's in Nam. He did he was in fucking. He started out his career in the military as airborne ranger. Anyway, so he comes. He's still in Nam. He got drafted. Well, what did he do? I don't know if he did one or he volunteered for so many tours. And the last tour Nami did, there was a house fire, and he was coming back stateside, and there was a house fire, and his wife and two daughters, burned up in the house fire, and it I don't know what it did to him. It fucked him up. And I met this dude at a homeless shelter, and everybody was like, "Man, that dude, he was an Army dude, and you don't talk to him. Stay the fuck away from that dude. Don't ask him for a cigarette. Just stay away from him. He'll he hates people, and he'll kill you and eat you, and you just don't." And man, I was intrigued. I was like, well, I gotta talk to this dude. I mean, what the fuck? A 3-star general in the motherfucking service, and this dude's living in a homeless shelter? A fucking wino? Fucking drowning his life away in $2 bottles of wine all day? No, man, I gotta meet this guy. And he just didn't, and sure as shit, he was a 3-star general in the Army. I couldn't believe it. That was crazy. It broke his will. He's like I guess at first he felt like it was a bunch of bullshit. He shouldn't have been at war. And when he finally come to the realization that he probably was fighting a war, it wasn't even his war to be fighting. He had already done so much shit that there was no way he could live with himself. And his wife had begged him, I don't give a fuck what you do. You got to come home. You're going to die. You got to come home. And he's like, I can't, because if I come home, I might as well be dead anyway. I mean, ain't no way in the hell God's going to take me doing all this shit. I got to make this right. And so he volunteered to stay on longer. And shit, it's just one of them things. It was just a house fire. I don't know what happened. Fireplace, chimney stopped up. I don't know. Anyway, his family dying. He's like, to him, that was some kind of sign, that he should take his exit from society. But the odd part about it was you would think that somebody like that would just be that fucked up of a person that you wouldn't want nothing to do with them. And so as much as he disassociated from society, society actually disassociated from him. I hung out with him for about a week. I mean, like I just, I got him talking, and it was just, to me, it was before I had myself had went into the service, and the stories, and just, I mean, just the idea of being able to talk to this old timer, I was humbled. One of the most interesting men I've ever met in my entire life. And that's where my long-winded point is, that's where you meet the really cool people. It's like life goes out of its way to ensure that you don't really meet. And then you're in some weird, god-awful, atrocious situation somewhere that you never thought in a million years you'd be. But there's an opportunity there. Cool ass dude. A cool ass dude. Really was. I was in the Army, Dale. I've met a few cool people in my life, but the norm is that if I get out here and go to the grocery store, for instance, I won't do that. I try to produce a lot of my own foods. I do sincerely make the effort. But if you get out here and you go somewhere typical, I don't know, you go to a grocery store. To me, society seems so autonomous. The people aren't even people. They're like drones, for lack of a better way of putting it. They don't think. They don't act based on their own personal thought. They have no heart. They're only intelligent enough to do what they're programmed to do. My mother, interesting there, my mother and father, they were both in the Air Force. Not that that has anything to do with my enlisting in the Army. I was a different person back then. But yeah, I was born on Langley Air Force Base, Hampton, Virginia, and my mother, she was like an X-ray technician, I guess, sorta, kinda. My father was a fireman, and yeah, I didn't like some of the stuff that went on while I was there, especially. I don't know if I don't know if I said this on any live streams. Google's a friend, you know, people can Google and find out about this shit. But I was at Fort Sill. There was some Marines training, and the Air Force, the Marines had a specific area of the base reserved. So the Marines were training. The Air Force is like, well, fuck you, Marines. We're going to fly and we're going to drop this bomb. We're going to do this. We're going to blah, blah, blah. And we got this going on. And you motherfuckers need to get the fuck out of our way. Well, too many chiefs, not enough Indians. And we basically ended up, we killed a bunch of Marines. And how was it Fort Sill when that shit happened? But yeah, who gives a fuck? What do we tell the public? We don't tell them shit. We treat them like mushrooms. Keep them in the dark and feed them shit. You grew up in Charleston, South Carolina. That's where I lived for a while when I was younger. This is a rough place. What is that? North Charleston? Is that where we lived? North Charleston, South Carolina. Yeah.
James Island.
What?
James Island first.
James Island first. Yeah, planes have always been intriguing. Yeah, that's what my mother said. She loves planes. I do too. I have a lot of issues with them nowadays. I don't believe a lot of the shit that we're taught. Especially when you get looking into a schematic for an Airbus. They will lead you to believe that they're pumping hundreds of thousands of pounds of a so-called liquid fuel into this plane. They will lead you to believe that said plane takes off and flies around with all that weight. I think it's a bunch of horse shit. That's another one of them, another topic for another day things. I've not been back, Dale. I have not been back. 80. I don't know. Sometime in the 80s. Yeah, we a lot of family relocated here to Tennessee. I've got a lot of family still in Indiana. I've still got family in New York. I've been around a few places. I like it though. I like it. What I really love is when someone says, "Where are you from?" That's always an interesting question because it's like, well, let's see. I've lived in like 20 states. So if we did the math, I've lived in the 20 states almost equally. So where am I from? How does one answer that question? And that's only if you consider yourself as being from a state. I guess that's the easy way for people to say where they're from. Well, I'm from state such and such. I'm from country such and such. Probably makes it easier. Traveling in Europe. If the NSA would leave me the fuck alone, then maybe the so-called United States State Department would release the hold on my passport. I could then again get a passport, and maybe I too could travel around Europe. Of course, I don't know if Europe, well, yeah, there are some places I'd want to go to in Europe. I really want to go to the Philippines. I really want to go to Mindanao, live on an island in the Philippines for a little while. It's always been something I've wanted to do for many years. I'd also like to go to Canada at some point. Of course, I guess I technically could break into Canada. I guess that's not outside the realm of possibility. That's sad, the idea of even saying that. Break into Canada. How the fuck, how could someone own a country? And if they did own a country, how could they, I've just never, the idea of borders, I've just never comprehended that. Where would that authority come from? The idea of just taking and locking up an area and say, hey, this person can visit, but you other people, no, y'all can't visit. You can't live here either. No, you ain't going to work here either. I mean, where do you get some of that authority like that? I don't want that. Oh, yeah, that's the best way to do it. Options are always good. I'm a paranoid freak, though. My contingency plans have contingency plans. And then the idea of traveling usually scares me because then I get the idea that someone may know of my intent. My actual intent. See, my actual intent and my publicized intent are usually complete opposites. I try to keep them guessing. But then I get to thinking some weird off-the-wall shit. And that usually means, well, just let me get some beer. Let me go back here in the woods and figure this out. And then me and the raccoons get to talking. And by that time, I hear some coyotes hollering. And then my raccoon friends take off. And I'm like in this situation where, shit, man. I was all ready. I had my bags packed and everything. I was fixing to go see the world. That damn raccoons, man. Y'all motherfuckers got me into an argument with these coyotes and now I'm stuck. I ain't going to be able to leave till this time next year. Yeah, it always pays to be safe. To maintain one's comfort zone. And the only way to maintain one's comfort zone is to ensure that you are, in fact, master of your domain, whatever that domain may be. And it's hard to do. It gets easier the more you do it, but it is, you know, a lot of people, they don't know their ass from a fucking hole in the ground. They don't realize that any fucking idiot with a cell phone knows where they're at, what they're doing, who they're talking to, why they're talking, what their credit card number is, where their money's at, where they're going, where they've been. And they live their life like they have some kind of privacy, or they have some kind of idea in their little head of privacy. You ain't never had privacy. Well, most of us never will know privacy. It's all, what's that? The world's a stage. It's the divine comedy. So take a more proactive role in your script writing. Instead of just acting out the script, you know, get in there and make some little changes and tweak it yourself a little bit. And a lot of people, that never crosses their mind. You mean I can change the script? Well, you're welcome to come on if you want to, Dale. I'll send you a link to a Hangout. How do I get a link to the, I gotta do it like this. Okay. So, no, I can't do it like that. How do I, why is that saying welcome to Hangouts? Man, this is weird. I was going to try to send you a link to Google Hangouts. No, it wouldn't be. I've got Discord too somewhere. I've not used it in a long time. I do have it though. Why am I? This is just odd. Oh, here it is. So if I copied this entire link right here, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to do what I'm doing. Trying to do what I'm doing, and I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. There's your a Google Hangouts link. That should be the Hangouts link to this live stream. I don't even know what kind of device you're on or anything, but it should just be pretty straightforward. You should be able to just click on that and it should bring you to a thing. I don't know. Don't try to hypnotize me because I'm not susceptible to that type of thing. I'm just telling you in advance, I am not susceptible to hypnosis. It doesn't really work well on me. I can let this cat. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, kitties. You crazy kittens. It's always funny when you have a whole herd of cats. A herd, is that what they call it? I don't know. When you have a herd of cats on your porch, it's always quite comical. They get doing all kind of wildness. Backwards too. Let's see here. Where's that Discord thing? I gotta figure out how to get back into it. I haven't even logged into it. My Discord coach, Jinx, not mentioning anybody specific or nothing, Jinx and Discord. But anyway, the person that I was on Discord with kind of quit helping me on Discord. I know she'll probably hear this at some point. She's gonna ask me for some passwords and stuff. Oh, I had it. Welcome back. That's not. Oh man, what the hell? select all the signs with squares with signs. Can I not just sign in? I got my password, got my username. You want me to do all this other shit just to sign in? Huh. New login location detected. Please check your email. Of course I wipe my hard drive several times a month. That doesn't mean it's a new location. It just means that I've locked my hard drive. Wiped my hard drive. Bastards. Make stuff difficult. They always want to be tracking something. Yeah, I don't think Discord's going to let me log in. It might, but... All right, so I'm logged in on Discord. What the hell? Man, this damn thing. This stuff's got a mind of, no, it doesn't have a mind of its own. I know there's people behind it. Okay, so let's see. I got Discord on here. Yeah. Let's do something. Let me change a background and let's see here. Image. Yeah, I need a sec too. I'm gonna change and see if I can pull up a. Where's the damn Discord at? You bastards. We'll try to pull up that Discord window. I can at least change to... Oh, that's right, because there's a lag between... yeah, I'm going to refill my nice cold ice water beverage. Oh. You said old. Old compared to what? Some things are, I guess, would be construed as old. And do we even live long enough to be considered as old? Figure we used to be several hundred years old. Now we're 70 or 80. Yeah, I don't really know that constitutes old. I had to get them feet off that table. That wasn't really appropriate, folks. Apologies. Trying to run a nice, clean PG-13 program here, and I got my feet all over the table. How rude. Well, yeah, Chrome is the easiest way to use any Google product. Of course, they're going to want you to download a Google product to use a Google product, unfortunately. I don't like it because I don't like Google products, but for some instances, it's take the path of least resistance. I thought, sure, Dale, let me see. I guess not the, let's see. I've still got my Discord pulled up. Let me see if I can. I don't even remember how to add friends and whatnot on Discord. That's sad, isn't it? How do I even find people on Discord? It's been so long. I was trying to figure out a way to put. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do is search you, but when I. Okay, just. Well, let me try it another way. Let's see. We searched far and wide. Unfortunately, no search results were found. Maybe I entered it wrong. Try this again. I'm trying to search for you, but it's not really showing me anything. Where do you go to search for a user on Discord? I think should be C2 arms. No, here I'll show you. Let's see. I don't know if you need the number 2, but we'll give you that as well. This is me on Discord. I will put it into chat. There we go. This is really pretty good. This what is this? Extra sharp cheddar? Yeah, extra sharp cheddar. Yeah, there we go. I changed the background picture a little bit. Breaks up the monotony just a wee bit.
I will never forget my first DMT trip because I was such a case going into it. I mean, if you had known me when I was 19 years old, I was into Jean-Paul Sartre, Alfred
James,
Camus,
what is up, friend?
Marxism, Freud. I was a jerk. And I came down.
Talking to Dale. Dale is trying to reach out to me on Discord. And I was just telling Dale that I don't even know how to use Discord. I haven't used it in months. I had a friend that used Discord, and, you know, that's who I would normally ask about stuff like that, but I've not talked to them, and I don't even know if they even use Discord anymore. So we're not much of anything going on really, just hanging out. I reckon Dale is trying to seek me out on Discord or something. I don't know. It took an act of Congress, a pardon letter from the president, and all kinds of other shit for Discord to even allow me to sign in. What are you doing, Jenks? I put a link if you want to come on and panel, chat or not, or if you want to, it's in chat.
That the world is made of magic. That's what the world is made of. Not natural law, not interlocking cause and effect, not any of these things that are normally. The world is magic.
League of Legends.
100%. Every atom from one end of this cosmos to the other is magic, magic, magic. Certain concerns just die in the first 30 seconds of the DMT flash and can never be brought back, to my mind.
I've not played any games in quite some time. Any games of any kind, either real or make-believe.
I mean, I think that this is the secret that wants to be told. So the DMT creatures are mean traders.
Yeah, perhaps another time. Excellent advice. Let me kill that. Oh, Mr. Terrence McKenna. Definitely a person that was very inspirational throughout my life. Definitely someone who had a lot of wisdom. That's somebody I've always recommended that everybody listen to, look into. That was Terrence McKenna, very brilliant motherfucker. One of a few. What do you need a new video card for? Oh, you're trying to upgrade just so you can play video games, huh? And I've recently downgraded to I don't play video games. I've actually, I've really been seriously thinking about just like getting rid of computers altogether. I've not done it, and I don't even know how I'll go. Well, that's because you don't need Windows 10. Keep Windows 7. What is it that you can do on Windows 10 that you can't do on Windows 7? In Windows 10, it takes me, 15, 20 hours of running programs just to get rid of all of the privacy and security backdoors that Microsoft puts in place when you install Windows 10. And keep in mind that every time Windows 10 updates itself, any of them steps that you go through to secure yourself, Windows 10 reinitiates all of those processes once you update Windows 10. And that is every time you update Windows 10. I'm not going to bash Microsoft. They're doing what they set out to do. Yeah, Windows 10 wants you to have the newest of the newest. But I wouldn't knock a free video card or a friend get me a video card. I do hate Microsoft. Or excuse me, I don't, hate's a strong word. And you know, I can't really blame Microsoft. You know, people are stupid. And if people are going to allow themselves to be vulnerable, then you can't really fault the strong that are able to capitalize on people's vulnerability. You know, everybody has access to the same knowledge that other people have. They choose not to access it, and then, you know, then they blame the people that take advantage. Microsoft is just doing what we let them do, so I can't really fault them. You know, I do know that Windows 10 is a lot of security issues, and you know, and I really shouldn't talk shit because currently I'm running a live stream right now on a computer that's running Windows 10. I just know all of the stuff that I go through every time that I try to make any change, either hardware or software based. Next thing you know, Delcor, you'll be wondering how to extract DMT. Get you some naphtha and some mimosa hostilis. Watch you a YouTube video or two, and the next thing you know, you'll be smoking DMT and you'll be talking to aliens and trying to ask me how to figure out what language they speak. I'll give you a hint. Their language is geometric based. It's not based on sounds which are formulated from a written word. Their language is it's based on mathematics. That's where shit starts to get real. DMT is not something I would advise to everyone. That is something that I would advise to everyone that has graduated from mycology or mushrooms. Once you learn all that the mushroom has to teach, you have to figure out where the mushroom got its wisdom. And that's when you eventually, it's all a process like everything else. And that process will end with you finding DMT. It's neat, though, when you learn how many ideas, spiritual doctrines, philosophies, things metaphysical in nature, and other stuff is a direct result of the humanoid experiences involving DMT and other compounds like DMT. It's definitely another teaching tool. I'll say that. Definitely another teaching tool. And it's all natural. These compounds are not just found in nature. They're found within your own body right now. But what happens is when you raise the level of, let's say, compound Y, which is in your body, and you raise it to, say, double or triple, then your body responds to the increased amount, its increased access to the amount of that compound. So the effect isn't even really the substance itself. Yeah, blow, that's you know, that's that another level. That's not really natural. That's got, you know, that's semi-natural, but then there's other stuff that has been done. I'm talking more like ayahuasca, or like I was talking about extracting the DMT from the Mimosa hostilis bark, or Hawaiian wood roasts, or morning glory seeds, or hell, nutmeg even. Or Salvia divinorum. There's another one. I try to experience as much as I can. Not that that's good, not that that's bad, but without the experience, I don't really have nothing to base or formulate a perception on. You know, I mean, if someone's never tried something, if someone has never had that experience, then they really have no grounds to speak on it. You know, and it's like if someone who has never in their entire life ever done cocaine, how can they claim to know anything about cocaine? If they've never done it, what the fuck do they know? You know, my personal perception is that when I speak, I want to speak from experience. Otherwise, I'm just hollow words that have no meaning. And the only way to get experience is to experience things. I don't want to experience what I'm taught is acceptable to experience. I want to experience everything that life has to offer me, whatever that may be, good or bad, or however it's construed. Yes, experience is the best teacher. But as fun as this has all been, folks, it's 1:09 Eastern Standard Time, September 9th, 2018. I'm going to have to end this live stream. Jinx, thank you for being here. It was most excellent. Delcor, I'm so glad we've touched bases again. I am going to try to do more lives. matter of fact, I'm probably going to do another one tomorrow. I'm now that I know, because it's been a while and I didn't know what accounts, if any, I had access to. I didn't know what level of access I had to them. I didn't know what I'd be able to do. But now that I do know, I am going to try to. I'm going to try to put something together. If nothing else, to be able to just shoot the shit. It's good to be able to talk to people. I figured out how to get back into Discord. I don't know why I wasn't able to search for you. I am going to look into that. Also, Jinx, man, I'm gonna try to do this live thing again. I don't know if or when my normal accounts will be able to live stream. So, I have to take it where I can get it. And right now, I am still able to utilize this account for the time being. I will do so. I'm gonna do some more live streams. Anybody else that might listen to this at a later time, you can pretty much read the words on the screen. I'm easy to find. True Patriot, also known as CC2 Arms. Volunteer Agriculture, True Living Organic Farms. And until next time, folks, man, it's been most excellent. I'm alive. I'm well. Hopefully this finds everyone else the same. Namaste, and until next time, peace out, folks.